free. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbot.
Do you mind if I say a few words? Thank you.
What excellent news. Prince Charles said, "Ooh," and the Duke of Edinburgh said, "Ooh." They speak the same language, you know. Well, we heard it in the new news. One of London's key financial districts saw its biggest ever protest, an estimated 200 people. Well, we said 100. Newsgatherers said 100. They said 400. The police said 6. So it's something in the middle. Shall we say 200?
Correct.
200 people occupied Canary Wharf. Well, no, they didn't. I've been to Canary Wharf. 200 people could not occupy it. 200 people could not occupy one of the small squares in Canary Wharf. They just milled about a bit. Maybe they had a cocktail. It's a lovely spot. Would you like a pint of cocktail, Amanda? Among the protesters were pensioners, children, people with disabilities, a brass band, music. That's just such a weird thing to stick in that list. By the way, there's a comma in the middle there. People with disabilities, comma, a brass band, comma, musicians. Wait a minute. Isn't a brass band stuffed full of musicians? Also a range of, well, it depends what they're playing, I suppose. And a range of groups including Fuel Poverty Action, Disabled People Against Cuts, the Greater London Pensioners Association, No Dash for Gas. And what does that mean? And UK Uncut. A spokesman, no, wrong.
Negative.
A spokeswoman for the event said, "We picked Canary Wharf because it's a symbol of out-of-control neoliberal capitalism." What does that mean? What's neoliberal capitalism? Does that mean just unfettered? Capitalism with the rules taken out? She said it's completely private property where protests have been outlawed. Don't even take a skateboard down there. She says, "We've come here because we want to pull together anti-capitalist, climate and anti-austerity struggles." Well, that's a pretty weak turnout, isn't it? 200. The owner of Canary Wharf has previously taken legal action and put in place security measures to prevent protests in the home of some of Britain's biggest banks. No! The action was part of a range of... It's very impersonal. I mean, it's quite nice. It's clean. You feel relatively safe, even though you're surrounded by like pools of poverty. But it's a bit... heartless. It's a bit charmless. It's a bit soulless. But at least it's been planned. At least all of the tall buildings look like they belong next to each other, as opposed to the rest of London, which is higgledy-piggledy. And hugger-mugger, both at the same time. The action part of a range of anti-G8 protests currently taking place, but unlike other events, this one passed peacefully. Protesters erected and scaled bamboo tripods, structures designed to prevent attempts to clear the area by force. A bamboo tripod. An assembly, speeches and workshops were held, as well as creative activities, music and poetry performances and guerrilla gardening.
Groovy.
James Granger of Fuel Poverty Action, who helped organise the event, said the banks and financial institutions in Canary Wharf are bankrolling fossil fuel projects across the world, which are causing climate change and fuel poverty. And you know what? He's probably right about that. He says the price of fossil fuels is increasing, which is leading to 1/4 of the UK population facing the choice between heating and eating. He says, "I'm here to say that there is an alternative, renewable energy, which is cheaper and cleaner, and an economy that works for the needs of the people, not the needs of profit." Well, what kind of communist regime is he talking about there? Spreading money around equally in society? That'll never work. A Canary Wharf banker, who did not wish to be named, I bet he didn't, said he did not make the link between banking and the recession. This is a quote. He said, "If it hadn't been caused by banking, it would have been caused by something else." Nothing to see here. It was like that when we got here. If we hadn't done it, then somebody else would have done it. So please move along. Can you believe that?
Yes.
Yes, actually, yeah, I actually can. Here's one in Gants Hill. Hello, Faye.
Hello.
Faye.
Hi.
Hey, Faye.
How are you doing?
Super, thanks for asking.
I was just ringing to say, this week we've had so many people protesting about so many different things.
Yeah.
I think we should set up a campaign in the nicest, most respectful of ways let's protest about the protesters protesting.
Is that the way you really feel, Faye?
Yes. But it's just, every single day this week, it's been in the news, it's been all over the radio.
Yeah. Well, it's been another slow news week.
I know, well, we can't exactly talk about the weather.
Yeah, well, I will, at length. Don't you worry about that.
It's really tiring. Let's protest about the protesters protesting.
But don't you understand, Faye? Are you a millionaire?
I am not a millionaire.
Do you work in the financial racket?
No, the NHS.
Right, so these people are actually on your side.
I know, but let's face it, there's not how many... Protesting isn't the way our society at the moment deems the way to protest, isn't actually effective.
Well, would you rather that nobody just bothered? Because it's not immediately effective, perhaps we should just, sit and watch TV and some stupid nonsense that Simon Cowell has dreamt up.
or The Voice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that is stupid nonsense that Simon Cowell has dreamt up. It's just picking his idea.
Spray painting, or defacing a picture, or...
Yeah, well, that's different.
Milling around Canary Wharf...
Mm-hmm.
Isn't actually getting you very far. I don't have any ideas. I've got to be honest, and let's face it, shoot me down if you say you've got no ideas. This is all we've got, so we're going to go with what we've got.
No, that's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to have the answer to pose the question.
Let's face it, ransacking the streets of London for the G8 protest. Trying to jump off a building or not, or whatever that might be.
I understand that, but you also understand, Faye, and I feel this quite strongly speaking to you. It's almost like I know you. I think that you believe that it's just a tiny minority of people who get, and the reason that they kick off is because for one reason and one reason alone. It's exciting. That's why they do it. But they don't speak for the majority of the people who are there for positive reasons.
Absolutely. And actually, one more reason to that is, I'm sorry if I offend a lot of people.
Oh, no, here we go.
But have they got nothing else to do? Do you not have a job to go to, or family, or homes, or other things in life to do?
Yeah.
I don't understand how most of the people can be off Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, to protest. Do you not have a job to be at?
I understand what you're saying, but I refer you to the proposition that I made some moments ago, is that those people are on your side.
No, I know they are.
Do you feel that you have been brainwashed by the man?
I feel that...
Is it the evil capitalist system that is making you say this, Faye? Has your mind been inculcated with the belief that to protest is actually a negative thing?
No, not at all. Not at all. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, in history we can see that some protests have actually been productive.
Yeah.
However, it's those protests that we need to look back at and see, okay, what was productive about it and what was counterproductive. Use those ideas and basis to protest, this day and age.
Yeah, but often the most aggressive ones are the ones that actually get results. If you just sit there and mule politely about, I don't like this and I'd rather not have that, then nothing will happen. Now, I'm not recommending that people go out and commit violent acts. But if you want to talk historically, those are the ones that often make a difference.
But I understand. It's a difficult conversation because, let's face it, having a band playing in the middle of Canary Wharf is lovely, especially when the sun is shining.
Yeah.
But having
it depends.
200 odd people standing around with nothing else to do. Again, I don't mean to offend those that are there with
long-haired, unwashed layabouts. That's what you meant to say, isn't it? It's not that you want to offend them, but that's what you believe.
Your words. Your words.
Yeah.
But you don't have a job to be at.
Right. Well, maybe they don't. Maybe the dire economic situation has robbed them of work. And that is why they are upset.
Again, this is going to offend some more people. It's a good thing no one knows where I am. But
Yeah.
if you want a job, there are plenty of jobs out there.
But that's not true. That is not true, Faye.
See, this is the thing. Lots of people that I have come across that have said that no, there are no jobs out there.
Yeah.
There is nothing they can do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I disagree with the fact that, let's face it, yes, you can be highly overqualified and stuff. However, if you need a job, some job is better than no job. And those some jobs are still out there. And I understand for some
Yeah, but you're just making this stuff up now, though. I mean, you're just saying it as though... You just saying it doesn't make it true.
Okay, let's give you an example.
Yeah, example me.
Okay. Okay, apart from... I'm not talking of the... say in the NHS, for example.
Right.
Obviously, the NHS is falling apart 60 years from now. If you and me are both here, let's face it, we probably aren't going to have an NHS system.
Yeah, if we're both here, it won't be thanks to the NHS.
But, there are jobs within the NHS that people just don't apply for.
Right.
Within the hospital that I don't know if I can, but within the hospital that I work for.
The icky jobs at the bottom of the food chain.
At the bottom of the food chain. And for me, I have actually worked from the bottom of the food chain all the way up, and it's just, and if I need to, I will go back to the bottom of the food chain, if the need calls for it.
Right. Well, make sure you take a bucket, Faye.
But I don't see the point in milling around Canary Wharf thinking that that's going to actually be productive,
right?
Per se.
Okay. Well, what won't be
ruling
productive?
the world,
All right. Okay, but what definitely won't be productive, Faye, is if no one does anything. If no one does anything, you can be absolutely sure that nothing will change. Thanks very much, Faye. 0845 6060 973. Wow, we're off to a blazing start, Amanda? A furious, outraged caller. Can you believe that?
Well, she didn't sound outraged. She was
Blood
quite
pouring from the radio. An intense exchange right at the beginning of the programme.
Well, we could do with a break, couldn't we?
Yeah, I could definitely do with a break, yeah. A nice cup of tea would go down super. Thanks for asking. Oh, no, that's right. You didn't. 0845 6060 973. Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3.
This is LBC 97.3.
Customer confidence took another hit today, as your company's reputation was down 18 points for the third month running. Insiders all about.
I have no idea. It's like the next call has absolutely nothing to do with what we've just been speaking about. And the first call didn't even wait for me to tell you what it was that I wanted to talk about. But that's okay. I'm just being swept along, like a rudderless ship. This message says these protesters are middle, lower, upper class. What? I had no idea there were so many stratas to the class system in this country. Really? Middle, lower, upper class. So presumably there's upper, lower, upper class and lower, lower, upper class. Are you joking? These protesters are middle, lower, upper class, temporary dropouts whose lifestyles are funded by their rich parents, the Trustafarians. Just because they smell and have dreads, they arrogantly believe that they know what real people want and need, whilst having contempt for chavs. Ha ha ha, says Mickey in Hackney. Ha ha ha. Right. What's he talking about, Amanda?
Well, first of all, he's saying middle/lower upper class.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Middle, lower, upper class.
No, middle or lower upper class, not middle, lower
even
upper
that's
class.
ridiculous. Lower, upper class. What the hell is that? Name a person. Name the job that would put you in the lower, upper, middle, upper class.
Now you're confusing everyone.
There isn't one. Lower, upper class. What's that? Is lower, upper class higher on the food chain than upper middle class?
Well, it must be.
Does it go lower middle class, upper middle class, lower upper class?
Stop saying lower and middle.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
But it fits right in on this show so far, though.
yeah, well.
You see, this is what kind of surprises me. That the people out there who have been protesting, and didn't they pick a nice day for it? It was super. Almost like they planned it. Almost like God is on their side. The people that are out there protesting are doing so they're on your side, people. Unless you work in the banking business, unless your bonus was in the 7 figures, unless you are a magnate, they're on your side. But all they get is abuse, because that's what they see in the press. And the usual press suspects, the thing came too late to be included in the newspapers today, but they will be tomorrow, and they will pick the freakiest of them, and that will be the picture that you see. Some entirely, and with dreadlocks. It'll be some inappropriate person with dreadlocks, or somebody who's looked like they've spent the life going from festival to festival for the last 50 years. Something like that, with a dog on a piece of string, or something of that order. Most of the people there will have been perfectly decent, honest, law-abiding citizens, and they will look normal. Normal.
Boring!
Exactly, but so that's too dull for the press, so they won't pick them at all. They'll pick someone who looks like a freak. No offence. And that's how they will paint the rest of the crowd, and they will record their freakiest outpourings. And they will extrapolate from that the entire crowd were a bunch of nutters. That is what they will say, I promise you. And yet, how can you say that they're wrong? People do have to choose between heating and eating in the winter. People die of cold in this country. Is anybody remotely interested in that? No, of course not. And the reaction to somebody complaining about that is to criticise the people that are complaining. It's as though the entire country has been brainwashed. You've been brainwashed by the people that run newspapers. And the people that run newspapers are not having to choose between heating and eating. Here's a call in Edmonton. Hello, Ursin.
Hello, Nick. How's it going?
It's going great, mate.
Nick, I love your show. I've been listening to you for many years.
Oh, thanks very much.
All right, basically, about the protests in Turkey, Nick, do you mind if I say a few things?
What do you know about it?
Well, I'm Turkish. My parents are Turkish, but I was born in this country.
Okay.
All right? Okay. Well, basically, whenever there's a big event in another country, especially like an undeveloped country like Turkey, it's just another chance for the media just to show a bad aspect of that country. I mean, they're not even showing like a good part of it. Never take the opportunity to show a good place or a good city, a well-developed city. You know what I mean, Nick?
Yeah, but they're just covering the protests. They're not covering normal life, because that's not news.
Yeah, but Nick, one reporter, he went up to a wall and he picked up a can of drink, and there was one measly can of drink, and he said, "This is what the protesters are living on while they're protesting." And I just thought to myself, is this guy taking a mick? He shouldn't be doing that. He should be having a bit of respect. He should be showing a restaurant or something like that, even though there are looters there and things.
Yeah, but that's not news. People sitting down and having a nice little snack, just having some tapas or a nice bowl of pasta, something like that, with a glass of red wine. So yummy. That's not news. People throwing bricks and, getting hosed off the pavement. News.
Well, Nick, I still think it's a shame, because Turkey's a beautiful place, and it would be a shame just to show all the bad parts rather than some good parts as well.
Yeah, well, it's no coincidence that the bad parts are where the news is happening. Because if news happens somewhere, whether it's bad or not, it will be. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? A little bit. Makes a little bit of sense. Admit it.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right, Nick.
Yeah, okay. And we'll leave it at that. There you are, Amanda. That's 2 out of 2. How about that? I'm doing excellently well, don't you think?
According to who?
Me. I'm right again. 3 out of 3. 0845 6060 973. You know, the Life in the UK test, this test that you have to sit if you want to become a citizen of this great nation, this is in the news again today. It's taken by around 150,000 people each year, hoping to qualify for indefinite leave to remain in Britain. It does not require practical necessities in everyday life. This is according to Dr. Tom of Durham University, wherever that is. It is required that new citizens know trivial facts, such as the year that Emperor Claudius invaded Britain. What year did Emperor Claudius invade Britain, Amanda? Yes, exactly. I'm going to put you on the next plane out. Yes?
Year 14.
You don't know that. Also the age of Big Ben and the year that Sheikh Din Mohammed first opened or rather launched the first curry house. You've got to be kidding me. That's on the test? Who knows that? Dr. Tom said the test is a key part of immigration policy, but is unfit for purpose in its current form. He said life in the UK test has become a bad pub quiz. It's gone from testing practical trivia to the purely trivial. He said many citizens that were born and bred in the UK would struggle to know the answers to many of these questions. And I took this test myself online, and I got 8 out of 10 correct. I didn't know when Claudius rocked up on these shores, and I didn't know the date that Big Ben first chimed. What date did Big Ben first chime?
Oh, 1982.
You don't know that. Britain will not be more cohesive because more have heard about the Battle of Trafalgar, but rather if future citizens better understand how to participate in daily British life and make a contribution. If I was sitting this test, what question would you give me? If my answer to your question determined whether or not I could stay here or not, what would you ask me about British life? Lord Robert of Llandudno? Really? Llandudno's got its own lord. He's vice-chairman of the all-party parliamentary group on migration, said the test is both impractical and irrelevant as it stands and should be reformed. So go ahead and reform it. I double dare you. 0845 6060 973. He says, surely future Britons should better understand how to participate in daily life, instead of knowing by rote which emperor invaded Britain in AD 43. See, AD 43, you said 14.
I was close.
Wrong.
It's got a
Negative.
4 in it.
So, let's make Britain more cohesive, such that its future citizens understand better how to participate in daily British life. Ask me a question about daily British life, something that is relevant to living in this country, and my answer will determine whether or not I get to stay here. 0845 6060 973. The Life in the UK test, which is taken by about 150,000 people each year. That's a massive amount. Hoping to qualify for indefinite leave to remain in Britain. They're sitting there with their fingers and their legs and toes crossed. But it does not require practical necessities in everyday life, said Dr. Tom. It's just a bunch of trivia, like a bad pub quiz. Let's improve it. And this is the gift that I give to you. Ask me a question, and if I get it wrong, I've got to leave. 0845 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at lbc973. Just before I go to the news, a message. When I studied social studies at school, the textbook read there are lower, middle, lower upper class, and upper high class. And I struggle to understand, says Angela in Banstead. So do I. There's a couple of categories in there I didn't even know existed. Lower middle, upper middle. What about middle? That seems too much of a jump to go from lower to upper. Surely there should be some medium stage. Lower middle, lower upper class, and upper high class. I've never heard such a load of old rubbish in all my life. This is LBC 97.3. The time, 10:30. The news with Zora Sullivan.
Tweet at LBC 973. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
What in places goes on inside that head of yours?
Yes, best not to ask. 0845 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC973. Do I sound a bit funny?
Hilarious.
No, not that funny. I mean weird.
Always.
Because there's a bit of my mouth that I keep biting. You know, sometimes when you bite the inside of your lip...
Yeah, it
or
hurts.
something like that when you're eating.
Yep.
Food. I like food. But, and you keep biting the same thing over and over again, and it just starts to go down. You haven't bitten it for, 2-3 days, and you think, oh, finally, it's going away. And then you just almost slice through half your face when you're trying to munch down on whatever it is. It keeps happening to me, and it's on my lip. I feel like I've been in a fight.
Have you tried Bonjela? I swear by it. In such circumstances.
Right. But I thought that was for something else. That's not for biting.
Well, it's for mouth kind of complaints.
Mouth complaints.
Mouth complaints.
Right.
Mouth maladies.
Yeah, I'll smear it all
Maladies
over you.
of the mouth.
Here is Erith. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
Andy.
Good evening. Yeah, it's Andy with E.
Andy?
Yes.
Can I call you Andy?
Yeah, you can.
Great.
A lot of people do that.
Yes, Andy.
Yes, you were talking about the life in the UK test.
Yeah. Have you taken it?
I have. I actually had to spend some money just to go and study it, and then found out it was more or less some kind of pop quiz that I should never have bothered doing.
Really? But doesn't the
Yeah,
book that come with it, isn't the book that comes with it full of thousands of facts?
Loads of them, and very difficult to digest if you haven't been here all your life, which is the whole essence of the thing.
Yeah.
People actually who were born here, lived here all their life, may not even know the answers.
No, well, I would seriously doubt that, yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you... but you're implying that the test is both difficult and easy.
It is easy if you're somebody gifted with, pop quizzes, if you're somebody used to trivia questions.
Yeah.
And you can just memorize something without knowing what it means, then yes, it's easy.
So, like most exams, it's just a memory test.
It is. This one is particularly a memory test, which is not how I understand the implication of what they wanted to do to me.
No.
They want to test if I know what living in Britain, was all about.
Yeah, they wanted to see if you would fit in, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so how would I fit in if I memorize a set of questions in 2 weeks, get the right answers, and then off I go?
Which is exactly my point, and it's the point of this this academic who brought this up this week. Yeah, exactly. It's just a silly pop quiz. It's like a pub quiz. Yeah.
No,
whereas it should be something that's more suited to the task, which is to see whether you would make an excellent British citizen.
Exactly. Like a citizenship exam or test, or something that even though you were not born here, but you've studied it, you now know what it means. You know, like Parliament, what they do.
Yeah.
Why
let me ask you about that, Andy. What do they do?
They quarrel with each other every time on the news.
Yeah. That's about right.
Yeah.
They quarrel with each other every time on the news, except for when it comes to filling in their expenses forms, and then they're in complete agreement.
Yeah, with the expenses form, because then they deny they never filled it wrongly. It was down to the accountant.
No law has been broken in the filling out of this expenses sheet. Yes.
No, I think they are covered with something called parliamentary immunity.
That's what they'd like to believe. Yeah, parliamentary immunity. They can do anything they like.
Absolutely.
You've learnt a lot since you've been here, Andy. How long have you been here?
12 years now.
Oh, like I said. Is that it? Is that all you've learned? 12 years?
Yeah.
What was the?
I've learned a lot of things.
What was the first big surprise when you emerged blinking into this great nation?
The side of the road they drove on.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. I kept on trying to cross on the other side of the road.
Yeah. Well, we're the only country that's actually doing it correctly. We'll keep that in mind. Us and...
I think so. The whole of Europe must be crazy and mad.
Crazy.
To do it the other way.
I mean, at least they've got it right, and they speak English as a second language. Now all they need to do is change everything else about them, and then they'll have it right. So that's it. You were surprised that on the side of the road that we drive.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh, that was the first big surprise, and then the weather.
I knew you were going to say that. And then the weather, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't know much about this place before you got here, did you? The weather and the side of the road we drive, those were the big surprises.
That was, yeah.
Yeah. Is there any question that you can think of that would be more appropriate to ask on this test?
On that particular test, you know...
Not that I want to put you on the spot or anything.
No. I mean, because obviously you're giving citizenship to a lot of different people, different age groups and stuff. And so, if, for instance, I have my mom who is 60 years old or something, and she wanted to qualify for indefinite leave, and how was she supposed to go and memorize this test and then do it and come off with the right answers?
Yeah. Well, you're asking me. It's not my fault.
It's not your fault, is it? Oh, no. I think the test, like the professor or whoever you were discussing before, it's not really fit for purpose, the way I look at it.
Can I ask you a question about the test that you took? Was it a multiple choice test?
Yeah, it is multiple choice.
Good grief! So, in other words, you don't actually need to know anything. All you can do, all you need to do is just tick a bunch of boxes at random, and you'll probably pass, right?
Absolutely. That's what I did when they asked me for the patron saint of England. I just picked some St Andrews I saw there.
Just guess. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guessed St Andrews, and then they told me off later on. It was the wrong answer.
If most of the people that have lived here all their lives took this test, most people would not qualify to live here.
Not at all. Even the Labour leader, I remember when they were doing their leadership campaign, he was asked for the patron saint of England, and he didn't even know the answer.
Who didn't?
I think it was Ed Miliband they called him.
Well, he's not the Labour leader or the Liberal leader. It's not Nick, is it? Oh, poor Nick.
No, not Nick. Ed.
I'm going to pop a message in his pigeonhole.
Oh yes, tell him the right person, isn't it?
All right, keep up the good work. Cheers, Andy. 0845 6060 973. You can text 84850, email nick@lbc.co.uk, and if you're on Twitter, it's @lbc973. This is about the Life in the UK test, which has come around into the news again. It's taken by 150,000 people a year, hoping to qualify for indefinite leave to remain in Britain. I hope that you qualify, Amanda. And I really mean that.
Do you want me to stay?
Okay. Sure, why not? This academic says that it's just a bunch of trivia. It's like a pub quiz and is not suitable for its purpose. So let's change it. How about a question that would be more suitable to... imagine that I am across the desk from you and you have to pose a question, and if I don't get the right answer, then I'm on the next plane out. Quiz me, I double dare you. Here's one in Leytonstone. Hello, Sophie.
How are you, Nick?
Sophie, I am super. Thanks for asking.
I'm continuing with the spirit of useless tests.
Yeah.
I'm a bit stressed at the moment.
What is the nature of your stress?
Did you know that trainee teachers have to take a literacy and numeracy test?
Well, I would hope so. Are you a trainee teacher?
Well, I have a place to train as a teacher in September, but I have to pass a literacy and numeracy test, so I'll be revising for the next 2 weeks. And your
let me ask you two questions. These are questions that have a time limit.
No, I want to ask you a question.
Now, wait a minute. What are you ready? 6/8. Oh, I'm sorry, you failed this test. Spell rhythm.
RHYTHMN.
Say it again.
RYTHMN.
No. Try it again.
RHY.
No. Try it again.
RTHMY.
RT what?
RTH.
No. Let me help you out here. It goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
8.
Spell H. Weirdly, the letter H doesn't have an H in it.
I know, I do it all the time, I'm sorry.
But the problem is, Sophie, you'll be passing that on.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
We have 26 questions. No, I think 26 questions in the test overall, and the first 12 are timed, and you have 18 seconds for each question.
Really? Well, that sounds very stressful.
It is.
Oh, this is the nature of your stress, as we were discussing before. So
Exactly.
what is it that
Well,
you're going to be teaching? Is it like what
Primary
age?
school.
Primary school, right?
hopefully.
Okay.
So this is a numeracy question, and I'm going to read it twice, and you have 18 seconds after the second reading.
Well, I'm really
Right.
asking for it now, aren't I?
It's quite a long question. But I'll try and
Okay.
be
Well,
concise.
I'll tell you what, Sophie. I'm going to take a break, and then we'll come back with this very important long question.
Okay.
Is the answer 0?
No.
It was worth a go, wasn't it? All right, hang on right there. Oh, and I promise, by the way, if I fail or the majority of the questions that are posed to me, I guarantee I'll leave the country. That is my promise to you. 0845 6060 973. Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3.
118434.
118434. Why pay more? Calls cost 31 pence per minute from the BT landline.
0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Tweet at LBC 973. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
Well, let's get back to it.
And by it, I mean Sophie. Leytonstone. Hello, Sophie.
Hello, Nick.
Now, you were going to ask me a question.
I was, and I should say, actually, on a serious point,
Yeah.
these tests are absolutely useless because you could have degrees coming out of your ears and you would still have to do this test.
Well, it does.
I have
It's not useless. It does because people, some of the silliest people I've ever met have degrees.
I know, but for people like me who are complete technophobes, and this test is on the computer,
Right.
and the first 12 questions are timed, it seems a little bit unfair.
Well, not really. If you're going to be a teacher, don't you need to be able to work your way around a computer?
No, I'll leave that to the kids.
So what is your subject that you're going to be teaching them, or is it just sort of general studies?
No, primary school, it's you're a general teacher
Right.
if you're a primary school teacher.
Okay, so it's like painting with your fingers and,
And baking cakes.
yeah, and weeing where you sit, that sort of thing.
Thanks. Right, I'm going to read this question out twice,
Oh.
and the 18 seconds starts after the second reading. Okay, and I've already done the answer, so I know what the answer is.
Right.
And the answers are at the back of the book. Right, here goes.
Well, I'm not sure about this. Should I actually do this, Amanda? Because if I get this wrong, I'll look like an idiot.
I tell you what, Sophie did start to tell me the question. I stopped her and just said, "Oh, just ask Nick."
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Go
Right,
on, then.
I'm reading it twice, okay?
Yeah. Is the answer 0?
No. Right, here goes. The highest mark in a maths test was 46 correct answers out of 50 questions, and the lowest mark was 25 correct answers out of 50 questions. What is the difference between the highest and lowest marks in percentage points? I shall read it again.
46.
No.
I think you'll find it is. No, wait, it's
It is.
42.
It is.
Screwed that up, didn't I? Well, you're only accepting my first answer. It's 42. That was easy.
You passed. That's so
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Well, not for me, it ain't. That I initially couldn't add 46 and 46 together is embarrassing.
No, but you have 18 seconds
Right,
to do this.
okay, well, no problemo.
Well, I shall be reporting back to you on the 27th.
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot, Sophie.
Right, thank you.
That was so much easier than I expected it would be. Any idiot could have got that right, Amanda.
Thanks.
Chelsea. Hello, Mohammed.
Hi, Nick.
Mohammed.
Nice to speak to you. I always listen to your program. I don't know if it's just a weekend or you do during the weekdays as well, because...
No, it's Friday and Saturday nights. Friday and Saturday nights at 10.
Thank you so much, Nick, because you always keep us up. Sometimes during the weekend night, I'm driving sometimes to my in-laws coming back. So
Oh, yeah.
I always listen to you during the weekend.
Good,
I
man.
love your show.
Thanks a lot.
Hi, Amanda. Hello to you as well. Just about the life in the UK test. I took it a year and a half before.
Yeah.
been in the country for just over 8 years now, and not very long ago. And I really admire this test. I love this test, to be honest, because my wife, she's born and brought up in this country, and apparently she works for UK border. And while I was preparing for this test and reading the book and all that, I was really into it. I prepared this test in a couple of weeks, actually 2 weeks or something.
Where did you say your wife worked?
She works for UK border.
UK border?
Yeah.
Well, wait a moment. That doesn't sound right. That sounds as though you have insider knowledge, Mohammed.
To be honest, I'm not going to lie to you. Basically, while I was reading this, keeping that on side for a minute, while I was reading this, I was just reading a bit loud so that she could hear me, and she goes like, can you read slowly, please? I said, no, I want you to give the answer to this. A couple of questions I still remember, like sometimes, I was reading like about when did the women get the right for vote? Yeah. When did the women have right for this? And when did we have that? For the Church of England and all those sort of things.
Right.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't remember all the answers.
Well, no, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know the answer to any of those questions.
Yes, 100%. But, Nick, to be honest, these all tests, I'm NCCA qualified and chartered accountancy, to be honest. And for that, you have to get an entry test. All those sort of professional degrees, you have to go through an entry test. Like, I'm not going to be rude to this. Coming back to the last caller, Sophie, best of luck to you, Sophie. Basically, like, the way she was, she's trying to be... I used to be a lecturer as well. When I finished my degree in the London South Bank University, I was doing part-time lecturer as well, for some courses. While I was about to finish my degree, I was offered that position. And to be honest, like, as a teacher, like, you just spot on the answer, to be honest. Like, as a teacher, do you not think you need to be, like, having information about computer and all that? As a teacher...
that seems to me like, these days it'd be pretty important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not very serious about what you're doing and what you're talking about, especially when you're talking online, to be honest. Everybody's listening to it.
But in nursery school, do they actually have computers for the kids to...
They don't have, to be honest. My son is 2.5 years old. He hasn't even joined nursery yet. He's about to go in 6 months. But to be honest, if you give him a tablet and ask him to unlock it without the PIN code, he will unlock it for you. If you... Nick, you won't believe this. Yesterday I was...
Sounds like a criminal in the making, Mohammed. You want to keep your eye on him.
To be honest, I was like, the other day I was like so amazed. He observes me how I close the application. It's not so easy. You have to keep holding the menu button, the home button, or tip it twice, so that the bottom...
Right, well, you've lost me, but this is going off topic. We were talking about the citizenship test. So get back to that. Now, tell me about... Wait a minute. Tell me about the book that comes with it, because they give you a book that's absolutely crammed with thousands of facts.
No, they don't give you a book. You have to buy it, or you have to...
All right, well, yeah, okay.
So coming back to this...
Yeah, you've got to buy it, yeah.
That book is not included in that price. And going back to your two callers before, and Andy... Basically, he said that there was, you can just take some multiple choice questions. No, I failed it first time, to be honest. I'm not going to lie to you. It is, I think, 4 or 5 questions. In total, 36 questions. I can't remember.
This is one of these tests that you just get to...
get the nationality.
Wait a minute. You get to retake it over and over again until you pass?
You are allowed to take as many times you can take it, till you pass it. You're allowed to take as many times. There's no time restrictions that you cannot take it back again in 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month.
Right.
No, you can.
So how many times did you take it till you passed?
I only took it second time. I passed it. And
was it multiple choice?
It's different questions, multiple choice.
And how many choices in that multiple choice? Is it 3 or 5, 2,
There are
1?
3 choices.
3.
But they are very tricky. If you start reading the book, because I read the book...
And what's the pass level? After what percentage do you pass?
It is very high percentage. I think there is only about five questions you can go wrong. 4 or 5 questions you can go wrong. I'm not 100% sure. It's about a year and a half before. Right. But 4 or 5... so we're talking here about 90% pass it, and like 90% answers you got to be correct, actually, 90 or 85%.
Well, that sounds unbelievable. You know what? I don't believe you. If you'd said if you get over 30%, then I would have thought, yeah, that sounds about right. But anyway, you made it, Mohammed. Everyone's thrilled. Thanks a lot, mate. I have to get to this call just before the new news. It's one in Barking. Hello, Dev.
Hello, Nick.
Dev.
How are you doing? All right?
All right.
I'm really nervous talking about whatever I'm going to say anyway.
Don't you know?
I was going to ask you a question. What would you do if you won this lottery, this £110 million?
What do you mean, if?
Well, it's between you and me.
No, well, I don't want to share it, because if I'm going to win 110, can you imagine how upset you'd be if you had to share half of it with somebody else?
Oh, do you know what, Nick? I would give you...
How much?
All of it.
All of it?
All of it. Yeah, I would.
Why?
Yeah. Because the way you come across, I think that you deserve it.
I am fantastic, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
You would agree with that, wouldn't you, Amanda?
I would just want the 10 million bet. You can have the
Right.
100 million bet.
Now, this doesn't
Yeah.
apply the other way around. You do understand that, don't you? We're not making a
No,
deal on
this
the air
is-
here where we have to do
this is-
swapsies.
Oh, yeah, but you've got to answer me one question. Yeah?
For £100 million.
Okay.
Anything you
Right.
like.
Okay. This is the question I would put to myself. What
Do you-
would I...
Well, now, wait a
what
minute.
would-
Wait a minute. Do you know the
hang
answer?
on. Yeah, I do.
Right. Well, it's pointless
Elton-
asking yourself if you already know the answer.
Yeah,
but-
no, but I would just listen to the question first. Hang on. Elton John. Elton John.
Yes.
My song at my funeral. That would be the key, wouldn't it?
Was that a question?
Well, I think that would be a perfect remedy,
For
you know,
death?
for, well, it's a way of beginning the end, and end the beginning, if you know what I mean.
No.
Okay, all right. Start at the
Right.
end.
So, in other words, the next time you want to hear Elton John is when you're dead. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, and start from that end, and then work out how much it's going to cost for your funeral, and work your way down
Right.
to see if you can afford it to die.
And if you can't afford it, then I'm sorry. The bad news is you have to keep living.
Yeah, well, that's the point, isn't it?
Is
we
it?
have to
That was
work
the
out
point.
our taxes.
No, the great thing about being dead is you don't have to pay taxes anymore, Dev. Not even the government can come after dead people unless they've found a way. If you are dead and listening to this now, please let me know if you still have to pay taxes. 0845 6060 973. Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3.
Conversation with Nick Abbott.
What's he got to be depressed about?
You know, those people that were protesting over in Canary Wharf, it's not... The problem isn't capitalism. The problem is the twisted nature of capitalism that we have now. Capitalism is a good thing. It's the least bad thing of the options that we have available. I mean, we tried communism over and over again. Doesn't work. Doesn't work anywhere it's ever been tried. Look at Cuba. Those people are so desperate, they're lashing themselves to car tyres and pushing themselves off the coast of that benighted country. And they're beginning to row back on communism now in Cuba. Fascism don't work neither. Capitalism is the only thing that we've got. But capitalism is supposed to be where you're rewarded for hard work and endeavour. But what we have now is the inverse of that. Just as long as you can get to a higher level on the ladder, then you can be any kind of dope. And you'll still be able to reward yourself. That's the key. If you get to decide your own pay packet, well, I bet you'd give yourself a pay rise. The chief executive of a large energy company saw his pay packet swell by 45%. Did your pay packet go up by 45% last year, dear listener? The chief executive of a large energy company saw his pay packet swell by 45% to £2.6 million last year, despite his company receiving a record £10.5 million fine for mis-selling. Ian Marchant, head of SSE, who retires this summer after a decade at the helm, had a basic salary of £870,000 and £1.1 million for a long-term bonus plan, as well as pensions and benefits and etc. and so on. 2 senior lieutenants, including Alistair Philip Davis, who replaces him, almost doubled their pay. It's entirely possible that the lower minions in that company did not also double their pay. The payout comes months after Ofgem gave SSE its largest fine. The regulator said in April that it found that failures in telephone, in-store and doorstep sales at every stage of the process, including management. The company said it was deeply regretful. They said, and I quote,
I am very sorry that I screwed up. I am so sorry. You just don't know how sorry I am. I'm sorry.
And Carol Flint, the secretary, the Shadow Energy Secretary, said, hard-pressed consumers and hard-working families struggling with soaring energy bills will not understand how SSE can get away with increasing their executives' pay in the same year as the company has been responsible for a serious mis-selling scandal. Struth, is there a business that we rely on that has not been accused or fined for mis-selling, which is a really benign way of putting it? Mis-selling. It's like I said over and over again, if they're mis-selling, then if you go and nick something from Sainsbury's, then you're mis-taking. It's the kind of language that they use only for certain types of people. If you earn £1 million, £2 million, £10 million, £20 million a year, then you're guilty of mis-selling, and you'll be sentenced to nothing. If you earn 10 grand a year and you take something that isn't yours, or you sell something that is fraudulent, then you will go to jail. So that's the problem. It's not capitalism that's the problem. It's the way that it's become twisted. Mr. Philip Davis, Deputy Chief Executive, took home £1.8 million last year, including a £206,000 bonus. The previous year, he took home £988,000. £988,000 the year before, £1.8 million last year, the year in which Ofgem gave the company that he works for its largest ever fine. The National Pensioners Convention said, "Speak up, love, we can't hear you." They didn't. They said pensioners will find this absolutely unbelievable. Well, they should read the news more, because I find it absolutely believable. SSE also raised tariffs by 9% in October, adding about £100 to their annual household bills. And they gave a warning last month of another rise.
Oh, no.
It's double bonuses all round. Here's a call in Croydon. Hello, Sasha.
Evening, Nick.
Sasha.
Question which should be on the citizenship test,
Yeah.
which I'd like to ask you, if I may. You probably know the answer to this, but do you know who your ward councillors are?
I've absolutely no idea. I don't even know what they are. What are they?
Well, your local council has elected councillors, and you would possibly have 2 or 3 councillors in the ward that you live in that are supposed to represent you. But in my life, I've done a lot of canvassing, door knocking, and when I knock on doors and I ask residents in the ward that I'm working in, do you know even the party that they belong to? They wouldn't know the answer to that yet.
Do they even know who their MP is? I bet they don't. I bet if we went out into the street and asked 100 people who their local MP is, I bet 99% of them would not know.
I think that there's a huge percentage. I think you'd probably be a bit too high with your percentage there, but I think it's probably about 80%, 75%.
Right, well, see, that's an outrageous figure.
It is. It's shocking. They get confused who your ward councillor is, either their MP or not. But it is important that people know their ward councillors.
So what does a ward councillor do?
Well, you know, Well, first of all, all the little grievances that you may have, for example, your bins weren't collected, or there's fly-tip rubbish at the end of your road. You go up to them, you contact them first of all, and they're supposed to work on your behalf.
Oh, yeah, leap into action, I bet they do.
Oh, exactly, because they should do, but they don't.
Can you imagine that? Every time you pick up the phone, it's some bloke on the end saying, well, I don't like this, and I don't like that, and moan. Can you imagine a life like that, Amanda?
Yeah,
where it's just a stream of phone calls from people saying, well, I don't like this, and I don't like that. Can you imagine?
It would drive you insane, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but they get paid well for it, though, you've got to remember.
Really?
Yeah.
How much?
Well, local councillors in Croydon get 10k, and then if you're in committees, you get a little bit more as well. So
£10,000?
Yeah.
A year?
Yeah.
That's not being paid well. That's being paid terribly badly.
Well, most of these people have got full-time jobs anyway.
Oh, well, like I said, it's an outrage they're getting so much.
And, they have to turn up to about 4 meetings a year, and they qualify for the 10k. And most of them, in Croydon, and a lot of boroughs up and down London and across the country, there are lots and lots, vast majority of safe seats where, they don't have to do much to get re-elected. And this is my point. What we ought to be doing is everybody should know who their ward councillors, what party they represent. And the idea is you should try and get your seat, your ward, to become a marginal seat, so that the councillors are working extra hard to try and get your vote. So what
for 4 days a year?
Well, no. What would happen, for example, here in Croydon, I followed this quite closely. Back in 2006, recycling bins were first rolled out across the borough. And when they were rolled out, they chose the 4 most marginal wards to give the actual boxes to, the extra services. Similarly, when they put in new street lighting, they chose the marginal wards to put these street lighting in because they wanted to impress the voters to get elected. But in the safe seats, where they know that people are going to vote for them anyway, they don't bother. You're last on the list, basically.
Now, is that just a coincidence? Are you looking for patterns where they perhaps don't exist?
No, there is. I actually predicted back in 20, I think it was 2008, they rolled out some further recycling. And
but you're saying this is a positive thing. People hate this stuff.
What recycling?
Yeah. They do. It's a pain in the neck. You've got to have a bin for your kitchen slops, and then a bin for rubbish that's coloured green, and then you've got to have another bin for purple crinkly paper, and then you've got to have another bin for corks.
They're going to burn the waste. Last time I spoke to you, I said that what they're planning to do, because there's not enough recycling in this country.
Yeah.
The only option they have to avoid landfill, well, there are other options, but the one they're choosing, councillors and waste contractors, is to burn the waste. Which will include recyclables. So it's really important that everyone knows who their ward councillors are, I feel.
But from what you just described, they don't seem to be important at all.
No, but you can actually, as I say, you can play one off against the other and say, for example, there are, let's put it this way, council has a set amount of money that they can actually spend.
Right.
And when they roll out services, or additional services, they're very careful to observe what the marginal seats. For example, library closures. They don't want to close a library in a ward where, if they don't get elected, they might lose the council the next time round. So what they will do is just close the ones maybe in the safe seats where, even if they didn't get elected in those wards, so fair enough, don't matter. As long as we can win the marginal seat, we can all get re-elected again and run the council again.
So your reward for your continued support is to get shafted?
Yes, but no, actually, Nick. What you're going to do is you're getting you work in the system. You're working the system to actually get the most benefit from.
Well, this seems like a preposterous system, and you're part of the problem, Sasha.
I'm trying to be the solution here, Nick.
Now, you said that you used to canvass. Who did you used to canvass for?
The Green Party. I still canvass for the Green Party.
Right. Well, how are they doing?
Sorry?
And how's it going over at the Green headquarters?
In the Green headquarters in Croydon, our vote share is going up year upon year.
Is that true?
Yeah, well, actually, it is, because more and more people are joining the Green Party here in Croydon, because we've been active in various campaigns, and people can see that, they're fed up with the mainstream parties, that they can't differentiate. What they say is there's the width of a, what do they say? It's the width of an anorexic cigarette paper between them. And, we're the solution.
Anorexic cigarette paper, right? But even fat cigarette paper is still really, really thin.
It is.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to roll it.
True.
Yeah. What's your position on wind farms? Because that must be a difficult one for the Green Party. Because A, they are a source of renewable energy, but B, they don't work very well, and C, look at them.
I love them. I love to look at them. I love to see wind farms. I think they're very attractive on the landscape.
You love the sight of wind farms in the morning?
Absolutely. Well, in Croydon...
in Croydon, anything would pretty up the place. Yes, sure, I've got to go, but thanks very much, mate. 0845 6060 973. Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3.
LBC.
Hello, boys.
Yes, we're talking about this Life in the UK test, taken by around 150,000 people each year, hoping to qualify for indefinite leave to remain in this unblighted land. And there's an academic who said that basically it's just a silly test. It's like a pub quiz. It's just a memory test. It has nothing to do with living life in Britain. So we thought we might improve it. It seems like it's been written by a committee of people who didn't want to offend anybody, who really had no idea. They were tasked with coming up with a test with some sort of. It's almost as though they didn't actually want to do it. They thought, oh, well, the hell with it. We'll just ask them a bunch of general knowledge questions that most people who live here and have grown up in this country wouldn't be able to answer. So it's just a memory test. We'll have a booklet that goes with it, and we'll make it as easy as we possibly can. We'll make it multiple choice. We'll give you just 3 options. And it seems from the viewpoint of someone who hasn't seen it, it seems like a complete waste of time. Now, here is someone who has actually seen it. Let's see what he says. Gianni.
Hello, Nick.
Gianni. So when did you take this test?
In March this year, and I just received, the last Saturday, I received my invitation for citizenship. But I have to make it right. You're saying for indefinite leave to remain. The only persons who have indefinite leave to remain and the members of the English Commonwealth can take that test to become a citizen.
Right.
Not to gain the indefinite leave to remain.
What's the difference?
The difference that with indefinite leave to remain is in your original country passport. It's time of the lifelong visa. That's residence of the United Kingdom. And now when you pass the test, you go to the ceremony, you swear, and you get British citizenship.
Well, that sounds like a British person. You go to a ceremony and you swear. Yeah, it sounds like that.
Yeah, exactly. And they actually ask you, would you like to swear on the Bible or just to make an oath?
In a pub, yeah.
And the questions are, it's a mix of questions. There's not much history. The only question from history is when immigration happened, like the first one of the Huguenot, of the Jewish people, from the pogroms, and the East Indian and the Caribbean. And then the other questions are, for example, what's the difference between English church and the Scottish church, Anglican church? The Scottish church does not have a bishop. Then the other questions are about, interesting, how many members is in the Scottish Parliament in National Assembly, and there is questions like that. Basically, there's not many questions that you can do. I was expecting when it's the Battle of Hastings or something from the history, so that that you can actually use in a pub quiz if it comes up to that. So the questions have been thrown up by the aristocrats. I don't know. It's money-making scheme, basically. And I think
how much does it cost?
I think it's 50-something quid, the first lot. But you have to buy a book, which is £20, and they change the book every year.
Now, from this book, how many book? What sort of size of a book are we talking about?
The books is in the chapters. First chapter is introduction.
How many pages are we talking? Like 100 pages? How many?
Less than that. Less than 100 pages.
That's less than 100. And so the idea is that you read this book and it tells you everything you don't need to know about this country, like the questions that you just referred to. And then you like cram it all in and then repeat it out parrot fashion.
It is. Basically, it is. It is African grey on the road. The thing is, the questions are pretty easy. The only thing, the way they are formatted, you can make an error.
It was a multiple choice question, yes?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and now how many wait a minute, how many choices did you get on each question?
You got on some are only two, the other are three. Otherwise sometimes you got two right answers and you got four multiple answers. So you have to choose two of them.
Now, do you know what percentage is a pass?
It's you have to get 6 wrong out of 28, I think, or something like that. It's 75%, I think.
Okay, so there's 28 questions, and how long did you get to ask?
I can't even remember now, because the moment I took it, I passed in 5 minutes. The moment you go out, because you do it computer who is connected to the home office, the moment you walk out, the printout is coming out of the machine, and it says, did you pass or not? It doesn't say how many questions you got right or how many questions you got wrong.
Okay.
So I done it. I checked everything, 5-10 minutes maximum, walked out, and I passed. So I think the most difficult is with the people who cannot speak proper English, to be honest with you. So they do not understand the formatting of the questions.
Right. Well, it would help if you spoke English, if that's the language that you're being quizzed in, yeah. And so when you took this test, did you think, well, this is well worthwhile, and I really am learning a lot that's going to be useful to me here?
Well, it would be. But I was interested in English history anyway, and even in my country, we have some of English history, much more than they teach people here in school.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, well, you passed. Everyone's thrilled. You made it. Thanks a lot, Gianni. 0845 6060 973. New York. Hello, Alan.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good, thanks.
I thought it's not a huge point to my call, just a comparison, I think. I grew up in Hemel Hempstead, and I've been living in New York since 1993. And I became an American citizen 2 years ago. And it's a complex process, but one of the final stages is also a test with questions. And we had 100 questions, 100 possible questions. You get a study guide with the answers, and you're asked a maximum of 12 questions during the final naturalization interview.
So they ask you 12 out of 100 questions that they've already given you?
Yeah, you get a study guide. Here's 100 questions. You learn the answers, and they will give you a random 12, although mine weren't so random. And you have to get 8 correct to pass the test. But the questions, though, were mainly focusing on the structure of government. What is Congress? How many members of Congress? What is the Senate? Why do we have a Senate? It was all about the history, the political history of America, and also the political structure. So that the idea is that you're well informed when you make a vote. But there were some stupid questions in there too. One of them was, who wrote the Stars and Stripes? I thought it was Dolly Parton, but I was wrong. I was totally wrong. But there are a few.
Well, who wrote the Stars and Stripes?
I can't remember. It was a woman, and I think I forgot 2 minutes after. It's one of those names I just can't retain. But the woman that was interviewing me made a point and seemed to focus on the fact that I was British. And of my 8 questions, 4 of them were about independence, the War of Independence. Who did we beat? And she really was quite obnoxious, actually. I ultimately failed the first citizenship application. I think my Dolly Parton answer might have been part of the problem. But she forced me to go away and bring back 5 years of tax returns.
Wow.
I'm quite sure. But that was really it. There's no other point to my call except for the fact that I'm sitting in traffic on the way home from New York, and I enjoy your show. I listen to it streaming Bluetooth from my car, and that's it.
Well, we're coming over in a technological fashion, 3,000 miles away. Meanwhile, people in Croydon can barely pick us up. Thanks. Amanda next door can barely hear me.
Is that right?
All right, I'm glad to hear it. Thanks a lot, Alan.
Thank you.
0845 6060 973. Can you hear me? Hello?
What?
Some texts and emails. Question to stay in the UK, or a question to stay in the UK. The Waterloo and City line is closed. How do you get back to Liverpool Street, says Roger. Well, get back there from where? What kind of a question is that? Walk. How do you get back to Liverpool Street, says Roger. But from where? You have to tell me where you're going to start from. Stupid. Question to gain citizenship. Can you explain the process a London cab driver has to undertake to gain a licence, and do you know what it's called? Yes. Do you say scone or scone? Well, scone. Isn't that the correct way of saying it?
I say scone.
Yeah, scone.
But lots of people do say scone.
Oh, well, they're just so very posh, aren't they?
This is it.
Scone. It's not scone, it's a scone.
I think scones taste nicer than scones.
Well, they would.
Yeah.
And they're cheaper.
Yes. Yeah, they are much cheaper.
0845 6060 973. This is Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3. The time 11:30.
Biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
I really like you. Do you like me?
Some texts and emails. Question. Who are Richard and Judy? More like who were Richard and Judy? Where's Richard and Judy gone, by the way? Apart from Guy Fawkes, name at least 3 of the other conspirators. Was one called Jeff? And apropos of nothing at all, this one says, has the rapture taken place? It sounds like just the idiots were left behind. I love it when listeners start picking fights with each other. Why can't people just get along? Here's one in East Molesley. Alex.
Yes. Hello, Nick.
Alex.
It's a pleasure to listen to you.
Thanks, mate.
And I'm hoping you will keep your promise, and if you can't answer my question, you'll leave the country.
I will leave the country, yeah. That is my guarantee to you.
Okay. At the height of its power, how many countries or colonies did the British Empire have?
All of them.
Now, you have to give me a number, though.
A number? How many countries were under our sway?
Were colonized by the British Empire? Shall I call it? You want to go on the cheapflights.co.uk?
Well, I don't have to answer every single question correctly. I just have to get a passing...
No, come on, you made a promise. You said if I ask a question, if I can't answer it, I'm going to leave the country.
No, not each and every single question. It's not 100% success rate that we're talking about here.
Well, you know...
I can drop one here and there. So what's the answer, smart man?
81 countries.
See? That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, right.
And anyway, each and every one of them embraced us with open arms.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, as we always do. Listen, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks very much, Alex.
Best of luck with your program.
All right, cheers, mate. Never call me again. Without giving me an idea of the answer before you ask an impossible question like that. Forget asking questions, says this message. The British citizenship test should consist of the applicant having to drink their own body weight in cheap lager and singing all of 3 Lions on a Shirt before consuming a full English fry-up. If they can't do this, they don't qualify. Here on the subject of the scone issue is a call in Lewes. Maggie.
Oh, look. I spoke to you last week. Now, I have to confess that when I spoke to you last week, I did say to the lady, but I live in Newark, but the postal district is Lewis in East Sussex.
Lewis?
Yeah, and you see, you keep thinking I'm down there in the West Country.
Right, well, I'm only reading what's on my screen.
I know.
We'll try to correct it.
And I was only going to pass on this little ditty rather than speak to you, because I thought, gosh, twice in a week is a bit much. But,
Thanks very much.
Yeah, no, on my behalf, I meant. No, it's lovely. My daughter and I absolutely love you. You remind me of Jack Jackson with all your wonderful little...
Well, it's a name I've heard, but I've never actually heard him.
Haven't you?
No.
Oh, well, mind you, that was back in the... I was only a little girl.
I believe that Kenny Everett...
It was
yeah.
Jack Jackson, yeah.
Right. Kenny Everett cited him as an early influence, didn't he?
But now, when you put jam and cream on it, it's
yeah.
a scone.
It's the other way around, though, right?
Well, it could be. It depends whether you're in...
Cream first. Cream first, then jam.
Yeah, but then when you've eaten it, it's gone.
Oh, no.
I know.
Did you actually just say that?
I've been put through you to tell you that.
Right, that's it. You're leaving.
No night, Nick.
Thanks a lot, Maggie. Once you've eaten it, it's gone. I'm stunned. Stunned! Here's calling Banstead. Hello, Charlotte.
Hello.
Charlotte.
I'm reading about capitalism, actually.
Yeah, you know the thing about scones?
They're just that they're nice. Nice to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, about the Middle East, I mean, it all seems to be, the poor countries are up fighting their governments, they're so poor.
Yeah.
And we've been so wealthy, and now we're protesting because we haven't got any money.
Mm.
So really, the whole world is actually going to collapse, isn't it, in a heap?
Really? Approximately when is this going to happen? Just so I can be, fully prepared.
It's gradually getting worse. It's actually getting worse, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. You could say if you just consume the news a lot that things are getting worse, but then that is the nature of the news. It's one catastrophe following another. However, most people's lives aren't like that.
No, I mean it's spread to Turkey now.
Yeah.
It's all spreading, and even like our countries, like America, and people are getting so.
They're saying that World War III may be about to break out, Charlotte. I don't want to spread any bad news.
No, I mean, I think, going back to the beginning, I think it's all due to overpopulation.
Yeah, well, that isn't going to get any better.
We haven't got enough money to go around. There's not enough money to feed people.
Well, that's not true. There is plenty enough money and enough water and enough food to feed everybody. It's just that we're not spreading it around evenly.
I don't think there is, Nick.
I'm telling you there is, Charlotte.
I've
looked into it.
There's not enough land now because all the land's being flooded.
No, there's plenty enough food. There is plenty enough food to go around the entire planet. It's just that the rich countries are hoarding it. Not only are we hoarding it, but we're also just throwing it away.
But we're so overpopulating the planet. There's so many people on the planet. We haven't got the resources to go around the oil.
But we do. If we just spread it around evenly, we have plenty to go around, but we don't.
Well, but but we're all going to run out of food, and we're going to run out of oil. What's the planet going to do? Eventually, it's all going to collapse.
Eventually, we'll all be dead, and then they'll be sorry.
Yeah, well, I think it's more serious than people think.
We're not taking it seriously, but then if we took everything seriously, then life wouldn't be worth living, Charlotte.
No, but
so
the only thing that cheers me up is you and Amanda.
Right, okay.
You cheer me up, you and Amanda.
That is the only thing that's got you clinging desperately onto life. Well, I'm glad to hear it, Charlotte. This show is a service. Are we beginning to help yet?
Yes.
Apparently so. Meanwhile, World War III is about to break out in Syria.
Oh, no.
The crisis in Syria is rapidly becoming a sectarian struggle for power that is bleeding across the Middle East, with the potential to engulf the entire region in a deadly power struggle between two bitterly opposed Muslim ideologies, Sunni and Shia. neighbours who believe something just slightly different from their next door, those are the ones that are going to kill each other from now until the end of time. If they believe radically different things, then they'll probably leave each other alone. But because they believe just slightly tiny amounts of difference between the two, that is a recipe for disaster. Already, war inside Syria has resulted in 93,000 dead and 1.6 million refugees, millions more displaced internally. And those figures are escalating rapidly amid reports of appalling atrocities on both sides. The conflict started in 2011. Well, actually, you know what? It didn't. It started in the 7th century. Can you believe that? It's been raging since the 7th century. And on and on. I mean, I've got detailed files. I'm not sure I really want to get into it. But anyway, World War III is about to break out, and Mahmoud Ahmadinejad is not going to have anything to do with it, apparently. Everyone's stunned. Stunned! Here's a call in Plumstead, Lower Lane.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
I'm calling about the Life in the UK test.
Yeah.
Before you reach to that stage, you have to apply for indefinite leave to remain in the country.
Right.
So if you need citizenship and a British passport, that is when you go and you do the test. Some people have been here for years and haven't done the test, and I believe there is a cut-off age of 72 when you don't have it, but you will be granted a passport once you can prove you were here, for such a long time. So that is just a slight correction. You have to apply for indefinite leave to remain, and then after a couple of, I think it's 2 years or 2 to 5 years, then you apply to become a British citizenship, which requires you to take the test.
Right. And you're correcting what, though?
You were saying if you don't pass the test, then you will have to leave. Did you say that?
No, I was saying if I don't pass this test, I'll have to leave.
No, we won't want you to leave.
I guarantee it. If I don't pass this test, and so far I've got every single question correct...
Oh, you're safe.
Then, I get to wave you a cheery bye-bye.
Not at all.
So did you take this test, Elaine?
No. I've been living here from 1984. And there was no need because I could just travel freely with the job I did. But because I'm about to retire, I'm thinking I must do this test. And you can imagine how the brains are young now.
Yeah.
So...
But why take it now? What's...
I get a British passport, so I don't have to apply for visas to go to other countries,
right.
Europe in particular.
And so what were you doing that made you travel a lot? You were a spy, international spy, something like that?
Not at all. A very humble job. Yeah. But I had holidays and, I used to travel to Europe. But now my family, they all have it, and they can travel, so I can't. Unless I go through a longer thing in getting the visa, which hotel you're going to stay at.
And then you have to fill out that thing on the plane, and you have never got a pen.
Yes, that's
Why do they give those things out on the plane and no one's ever got a pen on the plane?
I don't know.
And they say that if you don't fill this out, you can't come in.
That's right.
We're going to keep you in the plane in the overhead locker unless you can fill out this small piece of paper by the time we come around next, and no one's got a pen.
Yeah. So I've been to Holland and other countries, but if I want to go now, I have to apply for visa to go to Holland.
Right.
So
I know you used to be a mule.
Really? Then I wouldn't need passport. My fixers would have given me passport.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah. All right. Well, it's nice talking to you, Elaine. Thanks for that.
And you too.
Ta-da, 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC973. This is Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3.
Floorsave.co. Nick Abbott.
I am not one of your fans!
0845 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC973. We're talking about this Life in the UK test, which has come up into the news again. It's a test taken by around 150,000 people a year. 150,000 people a year hoping to qualify for indefinite leave to remain in Britain. And a university lecturer from Durham has said that it does not require practical necessities in everyday life. It's just basically a memory test. One of these pub quiz, with like a bad pub quiz is exactly how he described it. He says there's no understanding of how to participate in daily British life in that test. It has no relevance to modern life in this country, which seems a bit weird because it allows you to stay in this country. It's as though it has been concocted by a committee who didn't really want the job. They just dashed it off as quickly as they possibly could and sent it out into the world for people to fret over. So let's see if we can improve it, and if I get below the pass rate on all the questions that you posed to me, then I promise to you I will leave the country. West Hampstead, hello, Peter. Oh, Peter.
Oh, hey, sorry, I was just getting something. You know that test?
Yeah.
There are errors in it.
Errors?
Yes. There are quite a few. And one of them is, what is the name of the flag of the United Kingdom?
Yes. I saw that, and because I did the what a newspaper put online is, can you pass this test? And I got 8 out of 10, which must be a pass, right? Must be 8 out of 10. 80. That's almost 78%.
It's not bad at all. But I mean, did you do that particular question?
Yes, and one of them was
what answer did you give?
A new flag was created in whatever year they said, and what is it commonly called? And so I suppose they were right in that it's commonly called the Union Jack, but of course pedants will tell you out loud, screaming at the radio they are, that it's not the Union Jack, it's the Union flag. It's the Union Jack if it's at sea.
I think it's got to be on a Royal Naval ship and
right.
Flying off the jackstaff.
Off the what now?
The jackstaff flagpole.
Right.
That's
my favourite flagpole, by the way.
I expected you would like that one. Yeah. I met a fan of yours in Sainsbury's this evening.
Right. I thought you were going to say Strangeways.
No. A guy called Alan. And I can't believe he gave me a business card with no email address and no website.
Yeah, it sounds like a fan of mine.
And I'm wondering if they have the electric up there in Colindale. He puts up Apex Satellite TV, but I can't believe he's got no email address.
Yeah, very suspicious.
But I'm just wondering how many other questions are actually incorrect, because that is a bit of a pedant's question.
Well, it is, but it's not technically incorrect, because they said, what is it commonly referred to as? So they're right in that most people get it wrong. But that's probably not what they were thinking when they wrote it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. They've got a bit of... I think they made the mistake when they were actually... do you know how to tell when it's flown upside down by mistake?
Yes. The white bit is fatter at the top, on the top left-hand corner of the flag nearest to the pole.
No, it's the bottom left. It's the bottom left. The white has got to be fatter on the top than the bottom.
I thought it was the top.
It'll be both.
See?
It is both, yes. We're both right, isn't that glorious?
No, you corrected me, and I was right, which makes you wrong. Yes.
Up to a point. Up to a point.
I can't believe that I got that right, and he corrected me, even though I was myself correct. I don't need correcting, Peter.
It's a very strange thing. I always look at the bottom quadrant, and of course it is the same. And on the other side, but of course, if you have a transparent Union Jack on a doorway, you can't be correct for both people coming into your shop or going out of it at the same time.
Yeah. Plus, if it's a sticker, then you don't know which side is near the pole.
I think you've got to assume the pole's on the left.
Well, assume away, Peter, but that ain't necessarily so.
It isn't. No. You've got to. That's a dilemma. There was a picture of, I think, Liam Gallagher on one of these lads' magazines.
All right, yeah.
Did you see it? With
well,
Ian
I don't know.
Jackson?
It was the one where he was sticking up two fingers? If it wasn't the one where he was sticking up two fingers, it was the one where he was sticking up one finger.
He wasn't doing that, but he had a little flagpole, about 5-foot flagpole, with an upside-down Union Jack on it. I think it was last month's Q magazine.
Oh, is Q still going?
It's called Q, yes.
Yeah.
It's Q, the upside down.
Well, he's a rebel, and he'll never be any good.
Rock and roll!
Yeah. And by any good, I mean he's actually no good. I've seen them play live. It was one of the most boring experiences of my life. They were so dull, really excruciatingly boring. They had no stage act at all. They literally just stood there and sang. And Liam Gallagher was just singing with his hands clasped behind his back in a coat that was zipped all the way up to his chin.
I think it would be interesting at Glastonbury to see how the Rolling Stones do. I think it's the only time I've actually seen a group advertised for Glastonbury I wouldn't mind actually seeing.
Oh, you are kidding.
I can't be bothered with all the others. But the Stones, I think, are a bit separate, a bit different.
Well, not really. To me, the Rolling Stones have become their own tribute band. I mean, Mick Jagger the rest of the Stones look like their cadavers arrived, but their actual physical beings are still in the hotel. They just phoned the performance in, and the cacophonous racket that they're able to produce these days doesn't actually sound like any of their songs. You only know what song they're singing when Mick Jagger starts to sing, and you're like, oh, is that what you're going for? And Mick Jagger will go around like a demented chicken being electrocuted, which might have been okay to see on a man in his 20s, but not a man in his 80s.
Well, it just shows that if you keep going, you stay going, and I think that's a good motto for anybody.
Well, never stop going. Yeah, that is absolutely
never
right.
Stop going. Yeah.
I just I'm not really interested in going myself to see the Rolling Stones at Glastonbury or anywhere else. If I was at Glastonbury this year, I'd be in the comedy tent or the theatre tent or the I'd be chanting in the hippie circle.
Groovy.
Or anything other than cramming myself in to see a bunch of geriatric lizards go through songs that they wrote 60 years ago.
But some of them are really very good indeed.
Well, you know what? I've been listening to a lot of their old albums in the car, and there's no doubt about it. What a succession of albums! There's not many acts who had one unbelievably great album after another. You'd have to say that them. I suppose people are going to say the Beatles, although I think they're massively overrated. And David Bowie, and then you start to run out. Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, although they didn't have as many great albums in a row. But then that's it. The Who? No. Who else?
It's hard to say. I can't think of anybody else.
Kylie? I jest. Steps? Oh, fantastic. I can't think of anybody. But I don't particularly want to see them anymore. I'll watch them on TV, of course. We'll get to see 4 songs before they... before they cut away, because quite right, Mick Jagger and the boys didn't sign up for a TV show. That's what he said. And when the thing that makes him look so odd in close-up on television when he's doing his thing is because he's projecting to a half a mile away. That's why he's got this headless chicken routine, is because he's trying to reach people that are, in the 50th row. Whereas if you look at somebody doing that in close-up on television, it just looks like they're crazy.
Well, don't forget, the people in the 50th row really can't see the stage.
At all.
They only see a huge projection screen.
Well, that is also true of him in close-up, yeah. So please disregard everything I just said. Is this the sound of you disregarding everything I just said?
Oh, yes. I did a quick disregard, yes. No,
sounded like you were concentrating really hard on it. And there it is again. Wow, that's a well you could... like we're falling into. It's like I've dropped off a cliff.
I'm trying to think... You've got the blues people, B.B. King, and Buddy Guy, have they produced an album every decade?
Well, if they did, then no one was particularly interested in hearing it.
Oh, but that's not what you were saying. The question is, have they produced 60 years worth of continuous...
No, that is not what I was saying. What I was saying was great albums in a row, and not just albums, because any fool could come up with an album a year for 60 years, but it's not necessarily something that anybody would want to hear. What I'm saying is great albums in a row. David Bowie, the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, that's it. Which band would you rather be a part of? I'd like to be a part of... well, I don't really care. Any of them would do. I'll just take the money, Peter. Thanks a lot, mate. 0845 6060 973. I'm musical.
Call 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Tweet at LBC 973. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
How silly, the Queen's birthday honours list. Adele. Why is Adele getting a badge? Why? Huh? Why is Adele getting a badge? Sir Tony Robinson. How silly. Why is he a sir now? Rowan Atkinson, CBE. I've never heard such a load of old rubbish. Rob Brydon and Aled Jones. Why? I suspect that these famous names are being thrown at us as a smokescreen. What they're actually doing here is handing out badges amongst themselves. They're rewarding themselves, are the people that make these lists. Themselves and their close personal friends, and anybody who has come into their orbit in it. Adele. That's not the reason that Adele got an MBE. Why? Because she's rich? It's a smokescreen, and this is what the press will pick up, and it'll be all over the papers tomorrow. There'll be big pictures of them. What we'll ignore is the hundreds of others, civil servants and the like, who are just handing badges to each other. That should be on the test. 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at lbc973. This message says, I took the British test in December and passed. I studied like crazy for it, and you're supposed to get 45 minutes to complete it. And everyone was done in 10 minutes. What? You're supposed to get 45 minutes to complete it, and everyone was done in 10. You see, everything I hear about this test rather indicates that they're not really that bothered about it. I mean, they'll give you the answers in a book. It's just a memory test, which doesn't indicate that it's in any way serious. And it's a multiple choice. And if it's a multiple choice, then you could fill it just blind. You don't even have to read the questions, and you probably pass. The message continues. Plus, you only find out if you pass or fail. No other results are given. Right. So the people that have been saying that, you've got to get 80% or 90% or something of that order in order to pass, they're just making this stuff up. You don't know. So as long as I get one question right of all of these the questions that have been posed to me this evening, I get to stay. Those are the rules as I am making them up. 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at lbc973. Sutton. Angie.
Hello.
Talking to the Stones. Angie, yes.
Yes, right. I have received a letter today from my local council. It says, Dear council taxpayer, talking to local people, it's obvious that household budgets remain squeezed. So we've been working hard to attract jobs, growth and investment into the borough. Now, why have they sent me Sutton Summer Festival Guide? Have they sent this to everybody in Sutton? Because most people now, go online for their entertainment. This must have cost thousands of pounds.
Well, now, wait a minute. What kind of festivals are they having in Sutton?
Well, I haven't the slightest idea.
Well, you've got detailed files right there in your hand, Angie.
Yes, I have. Well, it's a very large booklet.
Is it?
But why do they need to send it, to me? It's ludicrous.
Well, if they're doing all this good work, then they need to, pass the message on in order to gain, maximum value for the taxpayer. The hard-working taxpayer, Angie.
No, I am a taxpayer. No. They're wasting money because whatever people plan to do, they will go online, won't they?
Well, no, I've never looked up anything online that has anything to do with my council. Ever. I bet most people don't.
No, you must
Yes.
No, Sutton Summer Festival.
Yeah.
God knows. I mean, I don't know.
Well, it sounds a delight. I can't wait to go.
Really?
Yeah, well, what's going to take place? Don't tell me you don't know. You were just given information on it. What's going to take place there, Angie?
Oh, I don't know. There'll be all sorts of... I don't know. Have I read it? No, because it would just...
Well, if you didn't read it, then it's a waste of money. But it's not their fault that you didn't read it.
No, because everybody will put it in their WPB.
In their what?
The WPB.
WPB. Waste paper basket. Oh, I better got that right.
Correct.
Waste paper basket.
Everybody will be putting it in the bin. It's a waste of time. Waste of money.
Well, see, wouldn't it be a bigger waste of money if they put on all of these excellent events for you to enjoy, but nobody knew that they were happening?
Well, they will. They will be advertised in the local paper.
But that's what they're doing. They're advertising, and you're complaining about it.
No,
it's true, isn't it?
No, but they are sending it through the post.
Yes.
It's all being printed. This is a complete and utter waste of time. If all they need to do is to have a great big display board in Sutton High Street.
Oh, please, Angie. Are you kidding? Yeah. Before you got this leaflet, this excellent leaflet that you're whining about, did you know anything that was contained therein? Did you have any idea they were putting on these excellent summer events? No.
Most people aren't really interested in them anyway.
Oh, come on. It's a time to socialise with your nearest and dearest.
We are
you make friends, Angie.
No.
You might meet a chum. Yes.
I can tell you how many. It is 39 pages long.
Right. Well, that sounds like your summer is sorted.
I don't think so. It will be going in the bin tomorrow.
No, post it on to me. I might like to go.
Be my guest.
Right. Okay, thanks a lot, Angie. Another satisfied customer. It seems to me if the council are going to put on all these good things, then they should tell people about them. I mean, it would be a small extra expense. I have no idea how much. It could be a massive extra expense. But it would be throwing money away. It's not like a good money after bad. It's good money after good. Unless, of course, what it is that they're putting on is a preposterous load of old nonsense that nobody would actually want to go to. Sutton. Let's see if we can find out something about Sutton's excellent summer festivals, Amanda. I bet you want to do that straight away. Here's a call in Enfield while you do that. Hello, Lynn.
Oh, hello.
Lynn.
Just a little rhyme that might help with the word scone.
Scone?
No, scone. E at the end tells letter O to say O. E at the end tells letter A to say A. E at the end tells letter I to say I.
Skine.
So all the vowels, if they've got an E on the end, then they say their proper name. Do you see what I mean?
No.
Well, look, E at the end of the word scone tells letter O to say O.
Scone.
No, O, sco, O. Otherwise it, and then E at the end tells letter I to say I.
Skine.
No. Just any word. We're talking about any word.
Well, what about live?
Well, it could also be live.
No, it couldn't.
Well, anyway, all right. That's just a general little thing we were told when we were at school.
Oh, what, in Enfield?
No, this is 80 years ago. Okay.
All right, thanks a lot, Lynn.
Right, bye.
Ta-da, 0845 6060 973. I don't think it's it sounds like more posh to say scone, but I don't think it is. Isn't it scone? This is not my working class roots breaking through here. I think isn't it more posh to say scone, not scone? Scone seems like you're trying too hard. One eats a scone, I bet. What are you eating?
Salad.
There will be loads going on, from fairs and carnivals, shows and sports events, to community picnics and exhibitions. Many of them will be great for all the family, and many of them will also be free. We're talking about the things that are happening in Sutton, like that nice lady was just moaning about. Keep a lookout on this website for more details about events as they come up, it says. Take part, take pride. Lasts the whole summer from May to September. You may want to organise your own events and get to know your neighbours. No. Or provide fun activities for the kids in your street. And 2 ways to do that are playing out and the big lunch. To see what's happening, download this thing. I wonder if it will download. It's connecting, but it's not downloading. We get nothing. So I know that you're very busy eating and all, but do you want to put one of these calls through to me? You know, and if you're busy schedule, yes, lady with a hand in the air. Huh?
Haven't you got to take a break?
Right. Oh, I suppose so. Yeah. I think the computer's taken a break. I'm trying to download the events guide, and it's just not doing it. Let's assume that nothing is happening, and they'd like you to please move along. Situation normal in Sutton, nothing happening. I have detailed files. 0845 6060 973. Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3.
This is LBC 97.3.
The LBC app has just got even better.
With it, tweet at LBC 973. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
Yeah! Dude! It's calling Crawley. Zainul.
Hello, Nick. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, mate.
That's good. That's what I like to hear. Well, I'm talking about referring to the so-called Sunni-Shia conflict in the Middle East.
Yes.
Pre to the invasion of Iraq, Shias and Sunnis used to intermarry. The relationship, it wasn't suddenly when we have the normal, usual suspects, divide and rule, you invade a country, bring in the, experts who used to do that, the British. When they did it in most part, when they had the empire, they did a similar situation.
Right. Are you saying it's our fault?
Of course it is.
Well, then how come wait a minute, how come the Sunnis and the Shias have been, apparently, fighting since the 7th century?
The fighting, if you look at the past, since before the invasion of Iraq, did you ever used to hear of any attacks against Shias and Sunnis?
No, because it wasn't news here.
No, it wasn't, because many of the people that if you lived in that part of the world, you knew that it wasn't. There was uneasy relationships like what you have between Protestants and Catholics, but it wasn't as bad as what is happening now. Now we've got the democratically elected fascists joining forces with the despots in the Middle East, trying to maintain the status quo because they want to steal, all these dictators are falling like 9 pins. They're worried, how will we get the cheap oil which we require? 1 minute they accuse the Muslim world that you don't have within you to, have the democratic, DNA in your thinking. But we made sure that no democracy flourishes in that part of the world because we backed them up. When the revolution took place in Egypt, our Prime Minister was caught in the Middle East with his pants down trying to sell weapons to the other dictators.
Well, that's what we do. That's one of the things we do. We sell scones and
Absolutely. And the thing is, when we talk about Iran, when they got rid of our favorite dictator, the Shah, the mullahs who are ruling there, they had seven elected presidents in that part of the world. and now we are accusing them of being. Tony Blair says there was Iran is creating mischief in the Middle East because Iran has inspired those people to, throw those dictators, which for 40 years we have backed and supported. Now we have to go for Iran because that's what's happened. But before we do that, let's go for Assad because he is the only serving Israel. He is the only. Syria didn't sign any peace treaty regarding Golan Heights. And now we want to get them because because Egypt has gone with Muslim Brotherhood, who are not who don't have a similar. They won't be signing the treaty with Israel. They need the other borders secured, so they have to get Syria out of the equation.
Right.
And
now, the name that I heard in the middle of all that was, and we were having such a nice, pleasant, and uncontroversial discussion there, Zainul, but then you had to bring up Tony Blair into the conversation, and then it went all downhill from then. After that point, my ears were ringing. I didn't hear a word that you said. But anyway, it's all our fault. That's what you're saying, eh?
Of course.
Yes. Okay. No, it's not. They've been fighting each other since the 7th century. Neighbours. Everybody needs good neighbours. Everybody hates everybody else, all the world over. And it only becomes news if it's something really dramatic or we have something to do with it. And World War III is about to break out. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. David Cameron and Barack Obama will warn Russian President Vlad the Insaner of the possibility of military intervention in Syria at the G8 conference in Northern Ireland next week. Cameron is going to meet President Putin in Downing Street this Sunday ahead of the conference. Really? Is he really? They're going to meet for tea. Amid scenes of intense behind-the-scenes diplomatic activity, Mr. Cameron and the US President are hoping that pressure from Russia might strengthen their case against the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Or, not al, just Bashar Assad. According to the Wall Street Journal, the White House is considering both arming the opposition fighters and enforcing a no-fly zone that could cost an estimated $50 million a day. The White House said that the Assad regime had used chemical weapons, including the nerve agent sarin, on a small scale multiple times in the last year. 150 people have been killed in those attacks, the White House said, constituting a small percentage of the 93,000 people killed in Syria over the last 2 years. And that's the reason to go to war. It's not the amount of people they kill, just the way in which they kill them. Tain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. That's what gets results. And Obama has repeatedly said that the use of chemical weapons could cross a red line. Beyond this line, we will not go. And Desperate Dave, Prime Minister Dave, is due to hold talks with Russian President Vlad the Insaner at Downing Street on Sunday as part of efforts to break the international deadlock. The crisis will also be high on the agenda when they join other world leaders, including Obama and the French President François Hollande at the G8 summit in Northern Ireland on Monday, at which they will warn the Russian president about his behaviour. What could possibly go wrong? Here is Hounslow. Hello, John.
Hi, Nick.
John.
Oh, by the way, Nick, you can't leave the country. You're talking about leaving the country.
Yes.
If you leave the country, LBC won't be funny anymore on a Friday night. There's no one to make us laugh, cheer us up.
They'll find someone, John. Don't you worry about that.
A little while ago, Glastonbury was mentioned.
Yes.
I've not played at Glastonbury, but in the 1960s, I did play at the Isle of Wight.
Oh, yeah.
When Jimi Hendrix was on.
And who were you?
A support band.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned this to you before. We were called Third World War.
You were called Third World War?
That was the name of our band.
Well, how appropriate.
Third World War. And the album that we made is still in the charts in Germany after all those years. And we don't get any money for it at all because we were ripped off. But that album is still in the charts.
Well, what number are you?
Near the bottom. 18, something like that. But it's still in the top 20 of the albums.
No, you're not in the top 20.
Just get it on. If you look it up on YouTube, you'll see my picture on there.
Third World War. Now, why did you choose that name?
Well, the songs were all anti-political towards our government at the time. Edward Heath was the Prime Minister. And they were all anti-political songs mostly.
Now, what do you mean you mean anti-politics or anti the status quo?
Against the government.
Right.
Like, one example was Edward Heath. He had a yacht. He used to go out sailing, and we did a song called "Teddy Teeth Goes Sailing." It was basically all the trouble that was going on in the country, the strikes and things, and he was out on his yacht enjoying himself. That was well. But the song.
And why did you go down in Germany so particularly well?
I don't know. But the guy that was manager at the time, who was our manager, he arranged a tour for us. And we went to Scandinavia, we went to Belgium and Holland, and we ended up in Germany, in Hanover, and we played there for 3 weeks at several clubs. And they went mad over us. Could never understand it.
Well, now, Hanover at the time was the filth centre of Europe, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah.
What a place to spend 3 weeks, eh?
It didn't look bad to me. We were.
Did you get any sleep?
Hey, we stayed in a lovely hotel.
Oh, I bet you did, yeah.
As I say, most of the songs were... Well, you probably think they were rubbish now, but you can get them all on YouTube anyway.
Well, I'll
get the picture of us up there.
I will look you up if I get a moment.
If you look the picture up, you'll see us standing against a wall, a brick wall. We look like criminals.
Yeah, you do. I'm looking at it right now, as a matter of fact. You're the little one in the middle.
The little one with that trophy hound.
Yeah.
And we've all got cigarettes in our mouths.
Yeah. It's a disgrace.
They were normal cigarettes, by the way.
Right. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Well, thanks a lot, John. So, well, wait a minute. You were on the same bill as Hendrix at the Isle of Wight?
No. We were support bands. They put all rubbish bands on in the intervals and that. So your names don't go up there.
Right. So you were on in between proper bands. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You were the band that they threw on while they were changing the set?
No, early in the morning before everything starts.
Oh, right. Just as the sun is rising.
Yeah. And Nick Glastonbury, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, Ray Davies from the Kinks was on. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
And he sang all the Kinks songs that he'd written.
Yeah.
And he had the backing of a full choir. And it was absolutely fantastic, especially a song called Waterloo Sunset. There's a brilliant choir backing him. Fortunately, I managed to record all that.
Yeah, I've never been a big fan, really. I mean, I know he's held in great esteem and he is revered, but I've never... no, it didn't really do it for me. But anyway, thanks for walking us down memory lane there, John. Cheers, mate. 0845 6060 973. We're talking about the Life in the UK test. Texts and emails, of which there aren't any, because you've been sitting in there eating and not doing your job.
Excuse me, there is a text on the screen there, and that's the only one that was suitable for air.
What, all the rest are rude?
Well, they're not rude. There's this random one that keeps on coming in about the film Quadrophenia.
Yeah.
An update on that. I don't know why.
An update on the film Quadrophenia?
Yeah, but it's not really
You mean the album? Well, The Who are touring with Quadrophenia. They're playing the album in its entirety.
It's just saying I can show you some of the texts.
And they will also stick on Won't Get Fooled Again, and Barbara O'Reilly, and My Generation, and that'll be it. That'll be the encore.
By the way, the choir that he was just talking about is the Crouch End choir. I've seen Ray Davies with that choir. It's really good. You should go.
Nah.
Yeah, I took my dad.
Well, exactly. See, I wouldn't want to go to any concert that my dad would also want to go to, that is of modern music.
But it was a nice treat for him, you see. I was thinking of somebody else.
Well, it makes it sound like you're giving him a bag of Werther's Originals. And some fluffy slippers. A nice treat. That doesn't sound very rock and roll.
Actually, it wasn't, because it hammered down with rain, and he had to sit outside in the rain with a bin bag.
Well, where was it?
It was at Kenwood House.
Oh, yes, I used to go to those. And then the neighbours started to complain. The people who were live in the mansions around Kenwood House. Yeah, they start, oh, no. You know, when they're...
The riff-raff.
The loud music. Because it used to be orchestras. And then they brought this modern amplified music, which was not the thing at all. And I used to sit there in front of an orchestra and get absolutely hammered, which I think that's the reason that people go there. They sit on the ground and they get...
Did you see the fireworks as well?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I saw Debbie Harry at one of those, actually. That was good.
Debbie Harry?
Yeah.
There's another one that I didn't really ever understand. I mean, what a face. When she first came out. She was like, what a face.
Yeah.
But the music, not that great.
Did you think?
Oh, Durney, Ooby-Doo.
That's not one of the finest,
I'm in love with
obviously.
you. I mean, even Sting writes better songs than that.
Oh, no, don't start that.
Do. Parallel Lines was a good album, but other than that, nothing. And she wouldn't know punk, but then she never said that she was a punk. She just got, swept along in the new wave.
She was actually quite old.
But that's exactly right. Yeah,
she was actually like 28, wasn't she, at the height of that?
Really old, yeah.
In comparison to how old you're
everybody
supposed
else,
to be.
everybody else that was around her, yeah. Teenagers. You're supposed to be a teenager if you were a punk.
Do you know what? I had made the mistake of asking somebody what year they were born today. Somebody that doesn't work in this building, but they work with one of the presenters, and he said 1992.
1992.
Yeah. I didn't speak to him for the rest of the day after
That's not possible. How can anybody have been born in 1992?
1992.
That was like yesterday.
And he's like proper, he's got his own
like
bank
a grown-up
account. He's
and
like
everything.
a grown-up and everything.
See, I would have wanted to give him like a soft toy or like a rattle or something like that.
I just turned my back to him.
1992. I can't even work that out in my mind. What year is it?
What now?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Do you ever sometimes have to look at the top of a newspaper to figure out what year it is? Yeah, I do, a lot.
No.
Not just the date or the month, but the actual year. I don't even know. I've been telling people that I'm the wrong age for ages.
Have you put yourself higher or lower?
Well, I actually higher. I've been telling people that I was not 1 year, 2 years older than I actually am until I figured out, now, wait a minute, what year is it? What an idiot. That's what you're thinking, isn't it? 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at lbc973. The Life in the UK test. Ask me questions, and dependent on my answers to your questions about life in Great Britain, I either will or will not get to stay here. Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3. It's 12:30. The news.
60973. Text 84850. Tweet at LBC973. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
Come on, we're running late!
The Life in the UK test. It's taken by about 150,000 people each year. And it's got a success rate of about 150,000 people. It seems like it's one of these tests that's virtually impossible to fail. And if by some miracle you do manage to fail it, then they let you take it over and over and over again. You just get to retake it till you pass. Everybody must get prizes. And a university lecturer, an academic, has said that it is essentially a load of old rubbish. It's like a bad pub quiz. It's just a memory test. Where the hell is Amanda? She goes missing for like half the show. She's never in there. Where are you now? I'm going to send a search party out. Get out the dogs. See if we can find her. Oh, there you are. Where do you go to, my darling?
I'm next door.
Well, what are you doing?
I'm waiting for people to ring in because I can't answer the phone in here. So I have to answer the phone next door.
Right.
Because if I answer the phone in here, you'll hear me over Zora's news.
Right.
So I have to go in there. Is that clear? Yeah?
Well, that explains where you were for the last 30 seconds, but what about where you just, like, disappear for ages? Ages and ages. Yeah, you do, you just disappear. I've got no idea where she goes. Where does she go to? Boy, lovely. Now, the bad news. A wet weekend will be followed by wet weather at the beginning of next week. Met Office spokeswoman Lindsay said, we've had some pretty unsettled weather over the last week. We've had some high winds on Thursday. Yeah, no joke. She says, but it looks like it's going to be getting warmer. Warm and wet. Warm and wet, with temperatures reaching into the early 20s by Wednesday, particularly in the south as the jet stream moves north. That's the problem, the jet stream. She said the jet stream, which until recently has remained in the same position right over the UK, is on the move again, but will continue to bring squally weather, which is warm and damp. The jet stream. Now, I bet I've got this right when I say that the jet stream, if it's below us, because this is why the weather in this country is so difficult to predict, it's because the jet stream sits there or thereabouts right over the country. And if it's a little bit lower, then it'll pull weather in from the north, and if it's a little bit higher, then it'll pull weather in from the south. But it's almost impossible to tell where it's going to be, which is why we throw £200 million at the Met Office, and they never get anything right. It's not their fault, it's just that it's difficult, that's all. The jet stream, and it's the intransigence of the jet stream and its unwillingness to move north and therefore pull weather in from the south that has caused us grief and dismerriment over the course of the last few years with the dreadful weather we've been having. It's the jet stream's fault. As it moves north, conditions in the south should become closer to average for this time of year. That is what the Met Office spokeswoman Lindsay said. She said, it will be cloudy and rainy in the south this weekend, but that does not necessarily mean it won't be warm. There will be normal temperatures for the south, but it will be cooler in the north. It will be similar on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, with cloud and sunny intervals across the country until Wednesday morning. And then what? Well, we got no idea. That's as far as she is prepared to say. And as for any rumours of a heat wave, she says, we haven't seen any evidence of one yet. It's going to be another one of those. And they're meeting, there's a big meeting about the weather this weekend. The Met Office is to hold an emergency meeting. It's not an emergency meeting. That's what they're calling it. It's an emergency meeting of experts.
Warning! Warning!
It's an emergency to discuss the increasingly unusual weather in the UK. Well, that's just pub talk. It's not an emergency, that's just what you do in between pints. It follows the coldest spring in more than 50 years, as well as droughts and floods in 2012 and the freezing winter of 2010. Climate scientists and meteorologists are going to travel to the forecasters' headquarters in Exeter on Tuesday for this unprecedented meeting. And the Met Office are predicting Tuesday will be cloudy but dry and about 18 degrees, which means it will be rainy and cold or sunny and hot or anything other than what they're predicting. Attendees are expected to debate whether the changing weather pattern in the UK and Northern Europe is because of climate change or simply variable weather. A Met Office spokesman said, we've seen a run of unusual seasons in the UK and Northern Europe, such as the cold winter of 2010, last year's wet weather and the cold spring this year. This may be nothing more than a run of natural variability, but there may be other factors impacting our weather. There is emerging research which suggests there is a link between declining Arctic sea ice and the European climate. But exactly how this process might work and how important it may be among a host of other factors remains unclear. Unclear? We pay them £200 million a year to make it clear. Experts are going to identify what further research is needed and discuss whether climate models need to be revised to take into account any recent changes to weather patterns. Well, getting tomorrow's weather forecast right would be a good place to start. Speaking as a non-expert, earlier this month the Met Office said below average temperatures throughout March, April and May made it the 5th coldest spring in national records dating back to 1910, and the coldest spring since 1962. It's just getting worse and worse. Meanwhile, on a different subject, here's Colin Ilford. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Michael, good, thanks.
Great. I just picked up something in the Evening Standard today, or Friday.
Yeah.
And it talks about the TfL annual report.
Transport for London's annual report.
Yes, the imbeciles at TfL. and they're talking about there are several people there that are earning over £50,000 a year.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing for it.
Well, 50,000 isn't that much.
Well, you give me some of that, I'll be in the queue.
Well, of course, yeah, but it's not that. I thought you were going to say £150,000 or £500,000, £50,000. I mean, it's a massive organisation. They're running one of the biggest transport networks on Earth. It's true.
Well, what I'm getting to is that it says there's only 3% of the people who earn over £50,000 a year that are prepared to have their names made public.
Don't train drivers earn more than £50,000 a year? I think they do.
Well, they're talking about officials. What on earth do they do for that money?
Well, like I said, Michael, it's I don't know what they do for the money at all, but I'll just hazard a guess. It's one of the most complicated transport systems on Earth. It's the biggest underground network that's ever existed. I think that people who are running it earn 50 grand. I mean, that's not something to decry, surely. If they were earning £500,000, then that would be different.
Well, we can't be sure how much above £50,000 they're earning.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely.
It won't go public.
I'm sure that the people who are earning the big money, they're the ones that would like to keep it the quietest. But I think that train drivers, tube drivers, earn about 50 grand a year, don't they?
Well, some of them do, but I wouldn't like that responsibility, would you?
Are you kidding? What responsibility? They sit there with their feet up, reading a book and having a cocktail.
Well, actually, I've done the job, and I can tell you it's no fun.
Well, well, there's lots of jobs. Most jobs are no fun. Well, it's true.
Yours is?
Most jobs are no fun at all.
Yours is the best job in the world.
Well, this is not a job. This is just talking.
Have you any idea how many people are laughing right at this moment?
Just you, Michael. Just you. I'm marvellous, I'm wonderful, I'm extraordinary. You would agree with that, wouldn't you, Amanda? 0845 6060 973. Thanks a lot, Michael. I'm not in any way stunned that people earn 50 grand at TfL. I think that tube drivers earn 50,000. I'm not... am I hallucinating, or is that true? Break at 45. There is no break at 45. Stop shouting at me, woman. It's calling Reigate. Hello, Alan.
Yeah, good evening, Nick.
Alan.
Oh, yes, it is still evening. Yeah, your question thing that you were on about, I thought I'd have a nice little one for you.
Yes.
Can you please explain to me and all the others...
The offside rule. Huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What did you say?
The offside
rule.
Oh,
I predicted it. I'm amazed I actually got it right. So, did I get it right?
Not yet.
By predicting your answer?
Oh, no, that was I would hope Amanda might have just pre-warned you.
No, she didn't. The offside rule. Okay, here goes. The offside rule is as follows. Are you ready?
Yes.
If you kick a ball forwards towards the opposing goal and the last man in your team who subsequently plays a part in the attack, if he is goal side of their last defender, then he is offside, unless you're playing at Manchester United, in which case they get the decision.
And of course the next one he asked is Norman Tebbett's one, LBW rule.
Well, I don't know anything about cricket. It's just your leg is in front of the wicket, and the sky cam would show that the ball would have gone through your limb.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, I just thought that we'd try a couple of those ones, so you passed with ceiling colours, as I
did. I?
Of course you did.
Well, then, hoist up the Union Jack, the Union flag.
Right,
yeah, exactly right. It's got to be the right way up, and you've got to call it the right thing.
Yeah.
All right, good man. Thanks a lot, Alan. Cheers, mate.
Be safe.
Ta-da. 0845 6060 973. The offside rule. Perfectly simple and explained in great detail and with much accuracy. Did I get that right?
What, the offside rule?
Yes.
If you like. Sounded like gibberish to me. So.
Well, no, it's hard to put into words, but it's like art. It's difficult.
The offside rule is
difficult.
like art.
It is like art.
Wow.
That is what I am saying. It's difficult to describe, but you know it when you see it. It's true.
I'm speechless.
Well, it's a dream come true. I'm going to note down the time and the place. She's speechless, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a call in Woodford. Hello, Mark.
Morning, Nick.
Mark.
Yeah, I'm not long home, and I just caught the tail end of your discussion about the jet stream.
Yes.
I watched a documentary one time, and they actually said it was prior to the Second World War, it was Japanese scientists that discovered the jet stream.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was maybe just before or after the Pearl Harbor attack. The Japanese actually launched a balloon with explosives on it, and it landed in a small town in America. It's not heard about much, but it did actually happen. And if you watch, say, old World War II footage of the B-29 bombers flying over the Japanese, say, coastline or in cities, you can see the way the bombs drop out of the bomb bays and they drift out towards the sea,
right,
completely missing their target.
And that was because of the jet stream.
The Americans couldn't figure out what's happening here. It took them a bit longer to figure out, what this was causing these problems, that the bombs weren't hitting their targets. And then obviously they figured out they figured it was called the jet stream.
And so we have the Japanese to thank for that.
In a small way, yes. Yeah.
And miniaturization and sushi.
Sorry, I missed that.
We have a lot to thank the Japanese for. No end of things that I've thought of three just right off the top of my head.
Yes, I think it was probably, say, late 20s, early 30s they found out about the jet stream.
I will, not that has anything to do with living life in this country, so it can't be part of this test, but I will note that down and commit it to memory. Good man. Thanks a lot, Mark. 0845 6060 973. So there's sushi, miniaturization, the jet stream, and that's it. Japan. Is that it?
Cameras?
Yeah, well, they didn't invent cameras.
Well, they pushed the advancement.
Pushed my eye. They didn't invent them. They didn't popularise them. They didn't do nothing.
Manga.
Mangoes?
Manga. Some people like it.
Oh, please. Comics? Yes. I went to the Venice Biennale, and I'm probably pronouncing that right. The Venice Biennale. This was a couple of years ago now, and each country has its own pavilion. And most of them were completely unremarkable, with the exception of Japan's pavilion, which was really freaky. It actually really freaked me out, and I had to leave.
Really? It scared you away?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was like. It was. Imagine if Jimmy Savile's life came as wallpaper.
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
That's what it was like. It was really freaky. And it wasn't just on the walls, but it was on the ceiling and the floors.
Wow.
It was image after image of... Imagine taking Jimmy Savile's mind and papering a room with it.
Really?
That's what it was like, yeah.
It's very widely kind of accepted, isn't it, to...
well...
lust after schoolgirls.
Maybe they should rethink that.
Yeah, well, I'm with you on that.
But it wasn't. But it was all cartoonish. It wasn't photographs. It was cartoon images with tiny girls with gigantic eyes, like sort of Bambi in a micro skirt. What the hell was that about? This was the country's pavilion in the art show, the once every 2 year art show in Venice. Really weird. So I had to leave.
What was Britain's?
I can't remember.
You just remember that one.
That's the only thing I remember, yeah. I can remember that most of it was just dull, really boring, and you go into a pavilion, there'd be nothing in it, and you go, Next, I was right at the end of the show, so it's possible that many of the exhibits have been taken down. I don't know whether the entire thing remains in situ for the entire period, and they take it down as one, or it's gradually dismantled. But it wasn't that great. Venice, on the other hand, is no end of exciting. It is literally like being in a Canaletto. You get on have you ever been?
I have been, yeah, but I was just kind of passing through.
What?
Because
How can you pass through?
I was on a bit of a whistle-stop tour down from through Italy to get to Sardinia.
Right, on the run, were you?
Yeah, from the mafia.
Here's a call in Shepperton. Hello, Mark.
Good evening, Nick. I hope you're well.
Yeah, pretty good, thanks.
Good. Good citizen question for you.
Yes.
Battle of Waterloo.
Yeah. It wasn't nothing to do with me. It was like that when I got here.
I know. Reason I ask, it apparently appears that our illustrious Secretary of State for Media, Sports and Culture has declined to put money forward to celebrate the forthcoming 200th anniversary, although our Belgian colleagues are already preparing commemorative celebrations. It is feared that if we were to do something like this, that we might offend our French counterparts.
Oh, please. Nobody's said that, have they?
Oh, yes. Today's papers.
Which paper?
Mail.
Now, when you say today, do you mean actually today or yesterday?
Good question. Yesterday's, obviously.
Yesterday's.
Because it was past midnight.
Right.
Past midnight, yeah.
Well,
So,
I am stunned.
I know. It's so much for being good citizens, we can't even celebrate one of our finest British Army achievements to give Europe the chance to have its freedom of democracy to screw it up like it is today.
Well, there's a couple of things, really. I mean, first of all, we don't have a lot of extra money to lash about on fripperies like that. I mean, we can all celebrate in our own little way. We can, decry war, or we can celebrate this great victory, or however you want, or we can just ignore it completely. But is it better not to spend money that we haven't got on things we can't afford?
More than likely, and hence we'll be ever increasing circles.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
Well, just going round and round and not getting anywhere.
Oh, right, like an eddy.
Yes.
Water going down the plug hole.
Indeed.
Like that.
Taking every last shekel with us.
Yeah, OK. Well, I know I will. Thanks a lot, Mark. 0845 6060 973. Godzilla. Oh, these are suggestions about what we have to thank Japan for. Miso. Miso hungry for miso soup. Here's Chiswick. Hello, Jay.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Good, thanks.
I'm just driving home and I was a bit bored. I thought I'd come talk to you about jet streams.
Jet streams. What do you know about jet streams?
Well, I deal with them most of my working life.
What does that mean?
And, I fly around the skies.
You're a pilot?
I am.
Are you a pilot of a commercial airline?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
I experience jets quite a lot. Now, your friends who rung up about the Japanese, the bombs and things like that, they didn't really find that there was a jet stream as such. All they found was that, actually, the higher up you go, the wind gets stronger.
Yeah.
Because jet streams tend to exist, usually, depending on the time of the year, around 30,000 feet up. And you explained it quite nicely. You know, all it is the boundary between the cold air of the north and the warm air of the south.
And when you hop onto one of these jet streams as a pilot, I mean that's the aim, right? That you actually identify where it is, and then you hop onto it. It's almost like getting onto a travelator. Is that right?
Yeah, that is quite right, actually. Depending if you're going in the right direction, sometimes it's against you and it slows you down, and sometimes you're with it and it speeds you up. That's why a lot of most of the jet streams are westerly in direction. So when you're traveling from, say, New York to London, it can sometimes only take you 5.5 hours, but when you're going the other way, it's more like 7.5 to 8 hours.
Now, how come a plane can have a wind following it that affects its speeds to that extent, whereas if it's landing, it has to have a wind coming towards it?
Okay, headwinds and tailwinds, you mean, right?
Yeah.
But the big difference is why you want a wind towards you on landing is that you don't need as much surface to land on. You understand that?
No.
Okay, if you've got a wind which is with you, you're travelling faster, right?
Yes.
It's a bit like a car. If you're travelling faster, your brake distance increases.
Is that the only reason?
There are reasons also, like, for example, when you come to jets, having a wind with you also provides you better lift, better stability.
Well, see, that's what I thought. I thought that it was if a wind is behind you, then you'll drop out of the sky like a stone. But it has to be the only reason that you're up is that the wind travelling over the wings, right? That's the only thing that's keeping you up, isn't it?
No, not really, because you're also generating airflow from the engines. Because you go to some airfields around the world where you can only land with the wind against your backs, the wind with you, as it were.
But but Heathrow, you see this all the time, that when the wind changes and it's going, because it's normally coming from west to east, which is why the planes have to go all the way over London. When the wind switches, and very occasionally it goes the other way, they instantly stop the landings and they go and they start landing in a different direction, and you don't get those planes going all over London. So I just assumed that the wind always had to be coming towards a plane. But if you hop on a jet stream and it's coming behind you, then that sounds very dangerous, Jay. Are you sure you know what you're doing?
I'm fine with it. It's no problem. I mean, you say Heathrow, they instantly stop. They don't. They prefer using the westerly runways there, so they prefer you coming over London.
Yeah.
So they'll accept something up to about 7 miles an hour in the opposite direction, and then they'll say, right, I think we'll change over.
Right.
But like I said, it's all to do with braking distance as well, especially at places like Heathrow. If you're coming in too fast and you've got an aircraft right up your backside, about 2 miles behind, they want you to get off the runway as quickly as possible. So they also like you to land into wind for that reason.
Yeah, I think from now on I'm going to walk everywhere, and if it's too far to walk, then I'm just not going.
Come join me on a flight. I'll make you feel safer.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Take care, my friend.
Thanks a lot, Jay.
Bye-bye.
0845 6060 973. Chertsey. Hello, Sandra.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Sandra.
We haven't... Almost funny, I'm repeat. Hello?
Yes, Sandra.
I seem to have an echo. Koi carp, as... I've got a whole book on it here. If I could speak Japanese, it would be Nishiki Koi. I can't say that.
Are you saying koi carp? That's what we have to thank Japan for?
Yeah, national...
World's most boring pet.
What? They're valuable. Carp? If there was time, there isn't time now, but carp are very expensive.
Well, yeah, but so's gold, but I wouldn't want to keep one in a tank.
It says koi keeping is an immensely popular hobby in Japan.
Yeah.
Many exhibitions, lavish prizes. Oh, I've got a book on it.
Fish. The only thing that fish are good for is eating. You know that's true. Thanks anyway, Sandra. 0845 6060 973 is the number to talk to the next host, who is arriving right now to tell us what he's going to be doing on The Christo Show.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm great, mate.
Really?
Yes.
That's such a positive response from you. I never usually expect that.
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
Are you okay? Have you been replaced?
Are you listening to this show? I said I'm great.
Okay, all right. I'm not one to question. Coming up, we're going to be questioning, though, from 1 o'clock, as I am one to question, whether you think we should decriminalise drugs and whether you or have used psychedelic drugs for medical reasons. We'll talk about that, and we'll be analysing the honours list as well.
On FM, online and digital radio, London's biggest conversation. This is LBC 97.3.
It's 1 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Zora Suleiman. David Cameron and President Obama have discussed the crisis in Syria during an hour-long video conference with the leaders of France, Germany and Italy. The call, which had been scheduled ahead of next week's G8 summit, took place after the White House said Washington would step up military support to the rebels in Syria. A massive security operation is underway in Northern Ireland ahead of next week's G8 summit there. Anti-capitalist protesters have targeted previous summits. Large numbers of police officers are on